Do we need a stream category?
I can also put that in.
I was gonna say if you can just do that.
They're going.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Cool. We are live.
All right.
Awesome. We're jumping right into the first top 8 game of our games today. My name is Kyle. Here with here.
Yeah,
I'm a mess today.
I'm Connor. No,
Yeah.
I'm Kyle. This is Connor. We're streaming our top 8 draft of the Chicago Cube League that we've been doing at 8 weeks. People showed up for drafts, played any cubes they wanted, got points for wins. These are the top 8 points at the end. We did a rotisserie draft last week, and these are the games. So round 1, we have Ellie, strong number 1 in the cube, versus Tom, who we are watching.
And Ellie is on lands, playing all 5 colors for pack 1 pick 1 was Uro. Tom is on just Sky. Top end
Playing some Narset.
playing some Narset.
Strong start, too.
Yeah, strong. Sorry, Dragon's Rage Chandler on turn 1 is pretty good. Quarry Seal Cutter in the hand. We won't be able to see what Ellie has in their hand, but I think we'll be fine. Scavenger News, though, a good card against any deck.
Just in this, like we talked about, like I said, I was willing to take this card second or third round during the draft. So I think it, especially keeping that 1/1, that Dragon Trade Chandler as a 1/1.
This Quarry Seal Cutter, though, has the potential to really take over the game if left unchecked.
New card for us. And so this has, I can't even read it, to be honest.
When you cast your second spell, make a monster inventory token.
Okay,
And the creature that's attached to it has +1/+1 trample and haste.
I see. That makes fun sense. I like it a lot.
Ellie passes on 3. I don't think that's what Ellie wants to be doing right now.
I'm trying to think about who wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, who wins a long game. And I do think that Ellie is okay with the Uro and whatnot, just kind of grinding out a really late game. But with this kind of pressure on, you certainly want to be doing something.
Exactly. That's what I'm worried about.
Double haste, important.
Double yes.
Yeah.
One of the reasons we chose this match to profile is for exactly what you were saying. Who, if Ellie gets late, they're going to get there, but Tom can just win.
Tom has some very explosive starts, and as I think a lot of players maybe haven't seen, the Narset in Cube can attack for just an absurd amount of damage out of nowhere, and especially with multiple ways of giving it haste on the field right now. Kind of just a very terrifying card. Realms Uncharted, love to see it. Now you see they didn't actually pass the turn.
Let's see what Realms Uncharted may be able to just get Ellie's deck going as quickly as next turn.
Do you remember how many are there like utility lands that they can get here?
Yes.
I believe they took quite a few creature lands.
Ottawa and Besiege.
Ottawa and Besiege. So this right here, they're just trying to get their 5 going.
This is I want to play Crucible Worlds next turn, and whatever 2-drop you allow me to play.
Yeah, that seems fine.
Both fetches will go to Ellie's hand.
Did Tom choose the cards? So Tom gave fetches instead of the duels?
Tom gave fetches. This might have been a misunderstanding.
Of which pile went where?
Yes.
Could be.
Gifts and given in cards, effects like that have always been tricky at Magic Online.
Yeah. Baleful Tricks went something like, what, 43rd?
43rd
round, like that, and here it is.
Yep, here it is.
It's still good. Oh, but the Galvanic Blast.
Hey, it ate a Galvanic Blast. It needed to eat it.
Ripped it, right? That was
that was a good rip.
Draw for this one.
Oh, putting it on top.
I don't think you'd want this, right? I think unless they need white, they're still looking for their white mana for the Servo Exposition. I see.
Okay.
Yes.
I would play this Fiery Island and draw a card, I think, at the very least.
So here's a question for you. If you draw white mana next turn, do you play the Servo Exposition on this board, or do you draw hoping to hit 2 spells in one turn the following turn? Is that monk token worth it to you to wait?
That's a really good question. So I think that also begs this next question: is do you sack the islet then because you want to have just mana to start doing 2 spells?
I think that the monk token is not very relevant here. I think there's a couple dorks on the board. I don't know how relevant. It's not going to be getting prowess more than once a turn currently in this game. I think I love just cycling through my deck, finding stuff.
As it stands, I still think Tom's on the I'm going to try the Deji plan. And so just play the Servo Expedition, get to the board as quickly as possible. Now, depending on what Ellie has, maybe that changes. But
So maybe in that case, I like leaving the white land on top, drawing it this turn,
yes,
and then seeing what I can find next when I can play anything in my deck now. Actually, I don't think they have anything that they wouldn't be able to play anyway. I think their deck tops out at 4.
yes. They're done at Narset. They have Stoke the Flames, and they have Syncopate.
Okay.
That's their most cards. This 2/7, though.
2/7 will stop basically everything. Yeah, I'm actually trying to think. Tom does have. Did Tom take the path really early? That was one of Tom's
Tom
first
did take the
picks.
path.
So that's definitely something we're looking for right now.
This Syncopate,
Syncopate 1 turn too late, unfortunately.
an unfortunate draw, too, because Tom can't play Servo and hold up Syncopate.
You could syncopate the servo
This is true.
and pay for it.
No, you can't. You only have
Oh,
one.
you're right. It's white and blue right there.
Yeah.
Not that they wouldn't. That's not actually not a good play. I just, the monk token was more relevant for some reason.
Tom probably should have played that island as the land drop last turn. Ooh, that's a great card to put in the graveyard, though.
Straight to the graveyard.
This does give Dragon's Rage Chandler Delirium.
Right, which gets it over. That's how you don't have to kill the 2/7. You can just attack the 3 in the air.
I would have switched over the Steel Cutter, though, to the Dragon's Rage Chandler.
Sure. Yeah.
Ellie is low on life, though.
Very, very low. That honestly, there's another reason. The
I mean, this Necrobloom's going to help with this race.
the 4 power is actually an entirely different clock. Oh, but there, of course, with the scavenging, is that clock is irrelevant right now.
Oh, and the Delirium is gone because of the Scavenging Ooze.
You gotta watch out for those on-board
Oh.
tricks. You gotta watch out. It's tough. Tough to see. Again, like I said, scavenging ooze in this cube is just
It's really good.
very good. And not that I think necessarily this would be what Ellie is looking for, but the Avenger of Zendikar for these plant tokens is in a different list. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There's no funny plant synergies here
Andrew has Avenger of Zendikar in the side.
in their Brock deck. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. There's a Crucible in the graveyard. How did it end up there?
I believe it was a Surveil trigger.
Ah, that makes sense. Why would seems like
It was
something people want.
no, they dredged it away.
I see.
Yep, they got back Misty Rainforest. I'm glad Tom has a good game log pulled
Yeah.
up.
Oh my
Get
goodness.
shocked,
Oh my
monster.
goodness. And now I think this game is just going to kind of run away from Tom.
I mean, this is exactly what Ellie was trying to do, like to a T.
Just jam. Well, this is funny. This is doesn't even look like five colors. Just looks like a nice Necrobloom deck. Oh my gosh, there's an art set. Does this mean anything? Does it represent? The thing is, anything they target can be immediately removed by the scavenging ooze, even if they give it haste.
The thing, Tom's really going to struggle with this Get Shock monster. That's going to become a real threat to his life total at some point. Same with the Scavenging Ooze. I just think Tom needs removal.
Right, the Narset can't use its ability because of the Scavenging Ooze.
Yep.
The ground creatures can't get through because of the Necrobloom, and the Gitrog monster just represents just
Inevitability.
massive inevitability. And I believe that the Wrath... Does Tom have... I don't know if Tom... I know he doesn't have the 4-mana Red Wrath.
Tom does not have any rats in
Okay,
the
okay.
main deck. I don't think he has any in the board either, but he definitely doesn't have any in the main. Anthony has Storm's Wrath. Sweltering Suns, I also think Anthony might have, but I think Ellie might have it in the side.
That's right. Ellie definitely took the Sweltering
Yeah.
Suns. This is another. We did talk about this. That we believe that a lot of those cards, while maybe not as powerful as you might analyze them in other cubes, went far too late in the draft. And I think this is an excellent example of why. I mean, I guess in this case, Sweltering Suns wouldn't do very much. It would just kill a bunch of plant tokens. But God, or the red one, the 4 mana does 4 damage.
Well, and we saw this with Baleful Strix earlier in this game too. That card went like the 43rd round, and yeah, it's not on the board, and maybe it was only on the board for like a turn or two, but it did its job. It ate a Galvanic Blast.
Right. What draw card? Discard a Galvanic Blast.
Galvanic Blast went to Strix, so it didn't go to Scavenging Ooze, and now Scavenging Ooze can just take over the game.
That's a good point. That alone, it kind of ended the game as apparently.
Yeah.
It ate the.
It's removing Tom's option.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Anna Titania.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we
and
concede.
Tom reaches for the game. I agree with this play from Tom. I think it's even smart here.
Let's take a look at this board.
Yeah, let's see what Tom can bring on the board. The third path Iconoclast, I still think is like the big card that Tom needs to think about bringing in.
So it's obviously, if you haven't played them a lot, it might be hard to understand this, but SRAM's Expertise and Narset are incredible friends. They trigger Narset so many times, making those tokens huge, though they don't necessarily have haste. But it is just, if you've ever attacked with the Narset, you can actually, it's frequently easy to cast SRAM's Expertise.
Yep.
Cast spell off of it, trigger Narset enough so that when it attacks, it can cast SRAM's Expertise. And that wins games for sure.
So the changes we've got so far are Combat Courier and Reckless Detective are out, and Irrelevant Gremlin and Skrelv are in. I think just like some protection. The Gremlin is a better attacker than Detective, maybe, or asks less of you.
So do you think that I almost like Selfless Spirit here as a welcome turn?
I like Selfless Spirit here. I also like Esper Sentinel here.
I think Tom showed that if he had a little more pressure, a little bit more out of the gate, more than capable in that game. Let's just put them in.
Just put pressure. And like third path Iconoclast also for that reason. Just do the thing. Tom's also taken out Syncopate. That does not surprise me at all. And Syncopate, he decided to keep in the Detective, I think, and took out Syncopate instead. And I think that is
Malevolent Hermit counter specific types of spells?
I believe instant or sorcery.
In that case, I wouldn't like it. But I do like anything that can put pressure on while also sort of stopping them, Ellie, from running out of the game.
Non-creature spell.
Non-creature spell. So that would have been almost worthless in the last.
Yeah,
match.
it wouldn't have felt great.
But here we go, right out of the gate. That's what we want. It's got. There's all 3 colors.
All 3 colors, a good turn 2 play, a good turn 1 play, interaction. Toval's in the graveyard. That's a little interesting. We'll see how that develops.
I would assume Ellie is digging for lands.
Yes, Tom correctly identifying that he is on the beatdown. 100%. And I think Tom should even lean into being the beatdown even more, honestly.
Right.
But
Put the that's for Sentinel in. Just what you said. Just all the little dorks.
Just keep attacking until you win or you're dead. Not a lot going on here. No 2-drop out of LA, which no Renin 6, no Baleful Strix. These are all very good things for Tom. Tom does not want to see a 2-drop get played from LA. Are we discarding the Ponder? Okay, no.
That's what it looked like to me, and I was very curious. I like this little synergy. We recently updated the cube with a more focus on these when you discard abilities. Tom immediately using some, kind of playing that. Think it look good.
We get an update from our sideline reporter, Andy. Eli up 1-0 after Miles Mull to 5.
Oh.
We uploaded the deck review video today on our YouTube channel.
Oh.
I had Miles win it at all.
That is a lot of damage in those 3 cards.
Oh.
And I think we might, depending on what
Let's see. How are we doing this, Tom?
I think Mountain Reckless Detectives. Well, maybe the Stoke, because you're probably going to play this detective next turn.
Yeah, I think detective is
Yeah.
first to set up like a really good
Or
stuff.
right now, draw it right now.
Yes.
Tom's deck looking real smooth right now.
This is
I'm liking it.
what Tom wants to
Yeah.
do. Okay, Ellie's got a Slogurk. I would be a little worried if I was Ellie. This does not feel great.
Right. We're gonna discard another card, which I think is gonna give us a 3/3 on Tom, a 3/3 on the ground.
Yep.
Continue to put that pressure on. And we know what it is, obviously.
Yep. Let's see, we've got 2 card types for Delirium right now.
So do you attack with both creatures here? Absolutely, right?
I think so.
You think they have to trade the 3/3 so you get in for 1? Is that the assumption here?
Oh,
Interesting.
so Tom looks like it's gonna stoke the flames to Slogurk. Alliance Dash is really good off the top, but I think this is Tom making the read that Ellie doesn't have anything else to follow up with. That if Tom gets rid of the Slogurk, there is nothing else.
It could be, yeah. And maybe they think that if anything goes on and the Slogger becomes a 4/4, they get brick walled in the ground.
Yeah.
I think that that alone represents more than 4 damage. Though I think I would be tempted to ship with both. If they trade, they trade. They can't actually, right? Because you have the blood token.
We see this in Bean's Reclamation to get back the Slogurk. No land. Oh, I think if I'm Tom, I'm smelling blood in the water.
I want Tom to attack and see if they can trick Ellie, like Tom got tricked last game. On board in combat tricks, but obviously that's just fancy play.
If this Lion Sash was in the graveyard, Tom would have Delirium.
Good point. Though I wonder if simply the ability to equip the Lion Sash to anything you get in is just worth way more damage.
That's true. That being said, this Inti is now about to cause some problems.
There you go. That's the attack we talked about last time.
Yep. This
Though
gets Lion Sash in the graveyard. Oh wait, no, it's still 4 card types. They were missing. They have creature, instant, land, sorcery. So yeah, they were still able to keep the Lion Sash. And now I think this game is over. I think Tom has won this game. This is exactly what Tom needed to do to beat this deck. Now he's going to chomp here, go to 4, I think. Yep. And then can Tom get this Galvanic Blast to have Metalcraft?
I don't think so. I think that if he had kept the blood tokens around, but ultimately so the one blood token plus 1 Lion Sash is real close.
Yeah, so Lion Sash, a blood token next turn, and just don't get rid of this blood token, and you have Metalcraft
For the win.
for the win.
Oop, down to 3. Cannot tap the Horizon Canopy.
But that's true.
Ellie doesn't necessarily know that. Oh, and I think that's
This is game over.
Oh,
And
it felt so good too. They thought they were there.
on the stack.
Oh, that's you love to see it. You hate to see it, but that's magic. Very fun. Got to scry first.
Josh Guy first. Put it on top.
So here's the thing. Do you think Tom recognizes what just happened and leans more into it? I think they're like, I won, that was the list. And he just keeps going.
I hope he leans into it more. I hope he keeps Syncopate out. It's really just what I'm hoping stays. So Reckless Detective's out. Selfless Spirit comes in.
Oh, for sure you're going to bring the Selfless Spirit.
That's true. That's true. Still no third pass. There's still no Esper Sentinel right now. And it looks like we're just going to get some min. Okay, so He leaned to do it a little bit, not as much as I think you and I would have liked,
Right.
but
I think, yeah, again, maybe they're just worried about double white pips. I assume that is
Yeah.
what its entire opinion is about the Charms and the Angel invention. But the Flyers have been so good in this matchup,
yes.
and I would love to see anything that Flyers put in.
I think his deck in game 3 is better than what he submitted in game 1. Just in general.
I think the Thought Scour is also just a really great card to be playing.
Agreed.
Turns on.
Oh.
That's Tom.
Oh, that's Tom. Okay.
Yeah, that just it puts cards in the yard for Narset. They can be cast with Narset. It turns on Delirium. He's got a Fireball. Maybe it draws a Fireball. I really like Thought Scour in this list, but I know that there's also just a lot of people who, in general, are I think a lot lower on cantrips in general than we are. I
Yeah.
think they would rather spend their mana on something that does something.
This is Boomer Magic versus New
And
Age Magic.
I think that was the conversation on one of the Lucky Paper things recently, but I don't care. All I want to do is play 30 cantrips and have fun.
Tom has got a hand of
Look at
cards.
this. Look at this.
Dusk Rose sacrificing Carrot Cake. You have Inti just to keep it going. A Flage to kill whatever it is you got. Whew. This could be a really good game 3.
I would change it. I would change it.
Okay, Ellie, let's see. So railed a Renegade Railier last turn, keeps it on top now. Another slow start for Ellie.
We did talk about this during the draft as well. I think Ellie's deck is terrifying
Yes.
if the games go on. Like, nothing is going to do anything about anything that they're doing. But these cards, especially Evora here,
I voted this.
proven to just be really good.
Ivora is already an all-star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've seen it in play, seen it in action, and wow, these jumpstart cards, they weren't afraid of
Yeah.
pushing these things.
Yeah, the jumpstart push. Let's see what Ellie's got. Needs something more than Slowgurk.
It's going to be a Slowgurk. Oh,
It's a Beans Reclamation for okay. It gets a land. No land.
there was no, there was, what was rated? They fetched?
A fetch.
Okay.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
fetch for the
fetch
bad.
back. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Tom draws considered. Solid draw. Do we just Flage here? Ooh, interesting. Sacrificing the blood token.
So Tom doesn't have 2 white mana to do both in one turn, which I think is what's driving them
Then,
right now. You can play these 2 cards.
yep.
But I do like sacrificing the carrot cake. But also, maybe this is just more than enough.
Yeah, Tom is just
Yeah.
Tom is in the mode of we need to do damage, and this is probably the most efficient way Tom has right now to deal damage. And like if I was in Tom's position, I would want to save that Flage as long as possible to try to hit him in the dome.
Right. Yeah. You put the pressure on, and not inflation is not necessarily pressure. It's just a lightning helix to the face at this moment. But especially if you can get Evora to continue connecting,
Yes.
the Flage can immediately come back. It hadn't occurred to me before, but Ellie's mana base is particularly painful, and in this matchup, it's tough.
It cost him life. Will we see Rathagot here is the question. Oh, we see maybe a Jokin? Nope. Okay. You always got to be careful with Tom. Tom always has got a bit ready to go.
You never know what Tom's going to be doing, and that's why we love him. Oh! Already? Oh, yeah, wow.
So Gitrock's going to be good. This is going to hold the board. If this Gitrock goes, I think this is it for.
Well, here's a Ponder. We can find it that way. If I think Tom might only have one answer to this Gitrock in Path of Exile.
He's got Path of Exile. I also think he might have Conclave Tribunal. No?
You like this.
Okay, we're pondering.
There it is. Oh, my goodness.
Don't shuffle, Tom.
Yeah, don't mess up.
Don't mess up.
There it is. Oh, I mean, notably, Ellie does get a card here.
Ellie does get a land, which is what Ellie's doing. Ellie, you know,
Yeah, and maybe find that wrath or something now. But
now's the turn.
wow,
Ooh, I would not have done that first.
you have to, right? I mean, you can't.
Well, but now that they're gonna find the basic and the deck's getting shuffled again, so that's a rail doesn't matter.
Sorry, but Gitrog monster triggers when a land goes to their graveyard, so they have to.
That's
respond,
true.
So,
Yeah, you're right.
and I think in this case they were just getting the tap lands out of their deck.
Drawing a card's better than a sub-rail.
Wow, brutal. Just oh my goodness. Inti Evora.
I like getting rid of the carrot cake here. Let's keep the consider. More spells.
Oh my goodness.
These two are our best friends.
This wow. We added like 4 cards I cared about discarding, and all of a sudden that's all I want to do.
It was only a matter of time before discard was good.
Oh man. This is just.
Yeah, this is.
Are we concerned about this? Maybe, right? I mean, we did inform the players before this draft that we had added a bunch of cards that we knew were power outliers. That was okay. We can call it horror or rare if we want, but wow.
I think the problem here is Inti.
Oh, we have another update. Eli took it 2-0 over Miles. Esca's Chariot.
Wow.
Cloning Constructs. Oh, Cloning Constructs is beautiful.
When you have 8 artifacts.
That's how they drew it up.
I had Miles taking it all. I mean, you were, man, okay. Black Feast. Yeah, it's too little too late.
And what did they care about cards in graveyard?
I think he gets to add one back based on CMC.
Oh my goodness.
You mill 2 cards and then destroy the permanent if its mana value is
Mana-
less than or equal
okay.
to the number of cards.
So in this case, anything you want.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, this is how we stabilize.
They
But
don't-
I don't know if you can stabilize it, unfortunately, against this Flash.
No, that's Eyes the Flash.
Yeah.
They do get a Verdant.
Well, I don't think you hit it with Flash. I think you play Flash, hit it in the face. Next turn, put Flash into play, end the game. I mean, we're looking for red mana,
That's true.
but
Assuming their mana works, I think that's a
we
good
have to
idea.
consider. And I think that's just enough cards right there. And they're gonna need. If it's not though, Tom will need to find it fast because Titania does not need more than maybe 1 or 2 turns at most
Doesn't need much.
to win. I mean, right now it's actually 2-turn clock on by itself. So these fetches, a painful mana base.
Can Lightning strike twice for Tom? Can Tom get another Path to Exile-like draw?
With the consider, yes. This is why we play those cards.
Yes.
Old school Magic for the win. I say old school Magic for the win, but oh my goodness, Tom is on fire right now. Wow.
Draw a basic mountain. Just run off.
Ellie came for 8 weeks in a row, dropped something like 3 matches, and then just got hit in the face with a bunch of red cards. Isn't that how it usually goes?
If I was Tom, I would play Voice of Victory Stoke on their turn or whatever, and then next turn just play Flash them in the face.
This is interesting. So they do get to make another 5/3, which means that the attack doesn't come through. And they lose this place. I'm not sure that I like targeting Titania here. Though, presumably, Ellie will have to pay 1 more life with these fetch lands at some point in time, with these pain lands. And then the Stoke is lethal by itself. Though, notably, only 1 red mana right now. If Ellie had Scavenging Use, it's actually very, very good here. It gains some life back. It takes away the flash. Like, they untap and have it. This game actually may switch completely the other way.
I feel like Tom has left the door just open enough.
Right. Oh, but
Can't cast Rabbit Battery. I think Tom's going to attack to get rid of the 5/3. But now this so
But now they need. Yeah, now they can't play. Now he can't play Stoke. This is a. Ooh, there is a window here
Yeah.
that we could see this turn around, and that would be real fun to watch. To be honest, just if we're rooting for the good game.
Tom needs a mountain. It's an island. And well, Ellie's got 3 cards in their hand. Plenty of cards to do something. Can't cast it.
Oh wait, but you can. Yeah, we can. Oh no, that's exile. Yeah, I see. That wasn't the top of the library. Okay,
Ellie's at 4.
and what does Ellie have? There's the catch! Unbelievable! Incredible.
And if we had a bar that showed who was winning, the red bar would have gone from over here
Oh my
all the way
goodness.
to the other side.
Incredible.
And
then a follow up.
Or is this an arrow?
Nope. Poor man. Oh, holy cow! And just like the hell, that's what we were saying. Like, and I don't. Maybe it wouldn't even matter if did face it. May not have changed it. No, I think just 1 less damage and a mountain still wins the game.
I think.
Yeah.
I would be curious to go back and look at this game to see if there's like a point of damage that Tom missed somewhere earlier, like in the game.
I'm just thinking of the Flage instead of targeting Titania, hitting
Yep.
the face.
Hitting face.
Now a mountain is still lethal, especially when they're tapped out like this.
And maybe Ellie's still at 2 here, and so they can't play Taval. They have to just keep doing with Ooze.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Inti also gave you the 2nd red mana for Soak the Flame, just because of the Convoke.
Oh,
So like
incredible!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's it. This is that's magic though. You make one mistake and you lose the game, and you make a bunch of mistakes in a row and you think you're bad at magic.
that's true.
Like 3 mistakes.
Let's see.
I'm not projecting it. That's.
Let's see if we can find another game.
Holy cow! Well, we're definitely going to talk to them about that later.
Yes.
That was exciting.
Where's the score? Oh no.
Yeah, you got to just push the here. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it would be.
Okay, so it's one of these two.
We could watch. Yeah, so
Let's go with Andrew and Vivian.
yeah, they would have probably just started.
Yes.
So in this match, we have Vivian versus Andrew. Vivian's first pick of the whole draft, I believe, was Steph. Oh, yep. Wow.
Oh, okay, at the top. Okay, so let's see. It looks like we're still in game 1, from what I can tell.
Yes, it must be game 1.
So let's see here. Okay, we got a Felidar retreat out of Vivian. Vivian on white-black tokens, and Andrew is on the rock, gray-black.
Or as I like to say during the draft, on Staff of the Storyteller Commander.
Yeah, Staff of the
And since the
Storyteller
commander is in play, this is going to be amazing. Vivian is what we're going to call the villain of our cube, not because of any reason other than they brought Ellie and Will with them to every week, who then proceeded to win every match they played for 8 weeks.
She's a really good Magic player, and then she brought 2 other really good Magic players, and they just, they win all
The
time.
level of competition kind of went up.
Yeah.
But that's great. It's good for everyone. Everyone's always getting better. And, you love to see it.
Staff of the Storyteller and Felidar retreat, just peanut butter and jelly.
And I know we had talked how maybe we would have just, maybe not, but like to see Vivian's deck be a little bit more lean, a little bit lower to the ground, and maybe Felidar Retreat was an example of a powerful card that was a little too much mana, but here it's looking fantastic.
I mean, it is a powerful card still, even if it's not necessarily what we would have done.
Especially, I think, against a rock deck. I mean, that's
Oh,
just
yeah.
what you're going to want to bring in. I assume Andrew has a couple answers for it.
They're all sideboarded,
They're all
though.
sideboarded. And I know what the might is in Eli's deck.
Eli's deck.
Where's the command thing?
There's Heritage Reclamation, and I think that's an Andrew sideboard.
I'm talking about Inscription of Abundance. That's a
That's
no, that is not in your actual life.
Inscription. Andrew does have that.
Okay.
Andrew has Canker Bloom in the sideboard.
Okay.
That's what he's got for explicit enchantment removal. So, Felidar Retreat, looking like it's going to stick and looking like it's going to be really good when it does.
Right. That being said, when we
And
talk about what we're looking at on this side of the field, this Gristan Yawgmoth is.
And I do want to point out, not to sound petty, but I'm speaking for my brethren out on camera, Eldritch Evolution stuck in Andrew's hand.
Yeah.
For the 2 targets in play?
So, yeah, do you remember which 2 drops there are in Andrew's list?
It's the Black CDC.
Okay.
Let's see, Shigeki, it's Sinkhole Surveyor, Priest of the Forgotten Gods, all cards that you don't want to sacrifice.
So, maybe a misremembered card. Can we sacrifice an insect token to go get?
A 2-drop?
Literally, Priest of the Forgotten God here seems fantastic.
No, I believe so, and I think that's exactly what Andrew should be doing here.
I wonder what the motivation is to not do that. Maybe they just don't. Maybe they like their board presence, don't want to sack them. They don't think that. Yeah, I don't know.
Each token is a card that they can draw.
Sure.
As long as Andrew makes sure that their life total doesn't get too low, I'm okay with what he's got going on. It's also
notoriously loves a deep blue control deck.
yes.
The longer the game, the better, in his opinion.
And this Battle Rebirth only gets better with the more creatures that get sacrificed to this Yawgmoth.
Right.
Harvester of Misery, though, potentially a really good draw here. Got to find the place on the board to play it, but
It's all creatures, right?
yes.
Yeah. So. Sharpening Fountain cannot block. This is still a lot of pressure here.
Ooh, this Battle Rebirth is going to bring in 1 mana Grist.
Oh, I love it. I love these Grist cards. They make me happy. I don't even know why, but they're fun. Little inside guy. Yeah, look at that little face.
So when we talked about Vivian versus Andrew in the deck review video, one thing that we said was that if Andrew can bog the board with some of these like hard to deal with cards, he's probably going to win.
Right. And I think another thing that came up, and something that Vivian decided not to play, was Blood Artist, which would be, well, I guess it would be terrible here. It would just die immediately to the Yawgmoth. What we're learning is that Yawgmoths.
Yes. But still, if Yawgmoth isn't on this board and Vivian's able to deal with that, then Blood Artist completely unlocks a ton of reasons.
Exactly. Yes. But yeah, I think we called one of the cards in the last chapter rare, but I think Yawgmoth is famously one of our quote unquote mythic rares from the set.
Yep.
It's been a consistent power outlier, one that we chose as
From day one.
Yeah, as just something that just kind of showcased the kind of thing you were doing. And if you got it, it was exciting. Yeah, it's very powerful, but people just like to play with it.
Modern Horizons 1 had some sweet cards.
Yeah.
And Yawgmoth is one of those cards.
So we can proliferate these planeswalkers.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I'm all in on proliferating with Yawgmoth. I think people forget that that's a thing on that card. But no, we can really start messing around in a second here.
6 cards in Vivian's hand is a real deal. I know that both of the black rats are in Miles' deck. Wrath of God is in. We saw that, and so the 8-mana one that reduces to 2 is in Vivian's deck. Ela has that as well.
Ela has that one. Okay. Vivian has a lot of single removal stuff. So like Portable Hole, like Oblivion Ring. That's what.
Again, with Staff of the Storyteller Commander.
No, Adeline's really good here.
Where who needs Library of Alexandria when you have a Staff of the Storyteller? That's what I'm saying.
Unfortunately for Adeline, though, a creature has Death Touch.
Adeline doesn't have to attack.
That's true.
I do see that there is very little. There's very scrap heap for the Scrounger to use to come back, so that's not a consistent sourcing attack. We do like the constant 2/2s though.
Vivian doesn't have a great way to deal with the Planeswalker, is what I am looking at.
Vivian does, and it is in the graveyard.
Yes, it's painful absence.
Yeah.
It's also like one Oblivion Ring.
Yeah. It's funny. I think a lot of cubes, you really, really want to focus. You got to take, like, people, especially if you played cube back in the day, you take an Oblivion Ring because you're going to lose to an Elspeth. Just take the Planeswalker answers. So we have a very low Planeswalker count in this cube, regardless of what you may see. And I don't know if Vivian was thinking about that or not, but it unfortunately didn't.
Yeah, it turns out non-creature permanents that aren't Planeswalkers are still really good.
That's right. There's also an artifact cube. Maybe there's a lot of reasons to take these Oblivion Rings that, they're not exciting, but you gotta do it.
I think people get often too wrapped in what's good in a vintage cube and assume that power definition of what's good in those cubes applies to all cubes. And that just isn't always the case.
Right. But what I'm saying, what happens when you know that,
yeah,
but actually it is the case for a different reason, and you just kind of talk yourself out of taking just, that Oblivion Rings are good. Doesn't matter the Planeswalker count, I guess is what I'm trying to get at here.
Yes. Oh. Insidious Roots, Avenger of the Fallen in the Graveyard.
Which just makes just another army of tokens for this Yawgmoth, right? That's Immobilize X?
Yes. And then a bunch of cards that you can discard to Yawgmoth to proliferate. Like basic lands.
And then we're going to start seeing this Insidious Roots doing the same thing. Wow. I mean, it's a rock deck. There it is. That's what I think a lot of people see the Lauren and they see this Howling Mine effect, and they forget that it's actually just a reclamation stage, and that you gotta take it. Gotta take it for that.
Getting rid of this Van of Rebirth is step one. Hopefully Vivian can find the rest of the steps.
Do you have their list pulled up? What were those? Does Vivian have answers to these Planeswalkers?
It's Oblivion Ring and Glass Cat.
Okay.
That's what we're looking at here.
But so
they also
it occurred to me that
they can also play a Toby.
Both of the Grist naturalize though? No? Okay. Destroy target artifact, and then the one is a just destroy creatures, right?
Yes.
Oh. Shifting Woodland has just been such a fun card. Just it does so many things you don't expect, and I think it's so much fun, and been taking that higher and higher. I think every time I play the cube.
Oh, it is artifact or enchantment. So
that one does.
Yeah,
so that's the problem. But so you have to take this Grist first, if you were to play an Oblivion Ring. But
would you have hit Felidar Retreat before Staff?
An interesting question. It's yes, but I get I think anyone could argue very persuasively for either one, but I think that Felidar Retreat represented a definite card each turn. Like pretty close to it. I know we're not drawing lands each turn, but if we're drawing a lot of cards, we're going to have lands. Whereas, like we said, a lot of these cards can't attack into these Death Touch creatures or this 2/4.
I do think I agree getting rid of Felidar Retreat. I think the decision is easier for us because we know what the decks are.
Of course. all those. So what is the X?
X for a number of creature cards in your graveyard.
Okay.
And the best answer is always combat. That is correct, Echelon.
But again, I don't want to reference too many other podcasts, but the Anthony that was saying recently, one good level up, you always attack unless you have a reason not to.
Yeah.
It's just like a rule. And if you just do that, why am I not attacking? And I always thought that was a really good way of looking at that. And yeah, I think this is a good example.
I mean, if you're not going to block,
right.
turn them sideways.
Have you never just talked yourself out of an attack and then realized just wasted I'm sitting here and I'm not going to block either? Like, what the heck? And
And notably, this Adeline can't block Yawgmoth because Yawgmoth has pro-humans.
he said no asymmetrical protection.
If it's against Adeline, I'm okay with it.
It says pro wizards.
Pro wizard, that's
Yeah,
right. No,
it's a pro wizard.
I think it's the asymmetrical. Your deck can't affect it. Because actually, I actually really liked the protection for multicolored on the that weird X cost artifact. It was I don't remember what it was called. We don't play it anymore, but it had protection from multicolor, and I actually kind of liked that inner multicolor cube. Stone coil circle.
So cross,
That's right.
yes. Andrew needs to make sure that they don't deck. They only had 9 cards left. And this game should be pretty winnable. Let's kill this Adeline.
Uh-oh. Really interesting.
Oh, you joined. You joined
Yeah,
and not
you
get
get that by joining. Yeah. Sorry about that. Just some quick technical difficulties. This is our first time doing this. We promise that it'll get more polished each time. Yeah.
Awesome. We should be back on. Looks like Ritz did kill the Adeline. I like that move. Just get out the creatures.
Yeah, now the staff is looking. Well, there are still 4 cards over in Vivian's hand.
7 cards left in 11 cards left in Andrew's library. Okay, so Andrew actually is pretty down cards.
Yeah, that Gorehound can't really do much here. They're not going to. Wonder if. Do you think Vivian can play to that?
The deck?
Play 11 more turns? I don't think so.
It's tough.
I think there's just too much. Like 8 life? That seems tough.
Her removal doesn't interact well enough with what Andrew's got to where I'd be confident in Vivian playing a long game.
So I wonder if there's anything that this Tipping Woodland can become in Andrew's deck that just sort of ends the game on the spot. Does Andrew have the... No, Miles has the Noxious Gear Hulk. Big thing with Menace.
Yes.
Even if it doesn't get to Shriekmaw or anything. Or
Andrew has Primeval Titan. Andrew has Lumbra.
you know,
No,
again,
Andrew doesn't have Lumbra. I'm
I
sorry.
think attacking with the Primeval Titan, I mean,
Yeah.
you could feel the fire, but that's another good way to actually accidentally mill yourself. Glass Casket, we're getting started.
Okay. It's
Is that a missed target?
no, they're targeting.
Oh, I see. They're just selecting.
I think they're targeting the token.
That's what I saw, but I feel like it needs to target the grit. So I want to know.
Oh,
if
it's
that's
target
mistake.
creature. It's
I don't know
not
what
permanent.
cards do. You should read them. Sometime.
It's a new edition.
It's not. Thank you, though. I appreciate it.
I think Andrew's trying to decide to sack. Just don't think it's necessary. Keep playing the game.
It needs to target, right? So even if they sack, they'd have to put a counter on the Yawgmoth.
Yeah.
Up to 1? Okay, never mind. But so there you go. Okay, yeah. So then you definitely just get that card. And this Glass Casket feels bad. I wonder if Vivian knew that even you know it came down and it was just.
I mean, I think Vivian has to do it regardless.
Of course. But
Yeah.
playing 2 mana to have your opponent draw a card.
Does not feel great at all. I mean,
Though again, maybe that's the game plan. Down to 10 cards. I don't think that it is, but
Vivian, I think we're going to see a concession come out of Vivian rather shortly.
there aren't any ways for Vivian to move Andrew's great library into their graveyard.
No. But you know what Vivian has on the sideboard that's going to be great?
What's that?
Phyrexian Revoker.
Perfect. There's an answer. Though, again, Yawgmoth just ruined everyone's day. This game would have been completely different. These Planeswalkers would have looked a lot less impressive, I think. Oh my gosh, look at this hand.
I assume we're gonna woodland for something.
For the
Avenger.
for the
we
Avenger,
just-
make some more tokens, right?
Yeah. I think we just win. Come close. There's 4 creature cards in the graveyard, so I actually think this is perfect.
Activate damage, right?
Yeah.
Wonder if they. What do we even play around? You still do it, right? I mean, they kill it, they kill it. Yeah, so. See?
Oh, that was the match.
Oh, wow. I wonder if there were some mulligan issues. So is that all of round 1?
I think we have 1 game still going. No, Anthony and Will looks like they're done. Will 1 and 3. So it looks like our winners were Eli, Andrew, Will, and Ellie.
Great. Hey, Sam, can you pair them?
I'm saying it right.
Yeah, appreciate it. Wow.
Okay, so an upset from Eli, an upset from Andrew. At least, in my opinion.
Yeah, Vivian's. So there was a time where we were all pretty sure that the black white tokens deck was just kind of like, if you're gonna just do it. That's one of the best things you can do. And we don't know how they got there, but it was just. You know what it is though? It's because of Yawgmoth, which was on the other side of the field. So.
Andrew was equipped for that.
Wow. So we're gonna be watching.
So we got Ellie versus Will and
Brothers.
Eli versus Andrew. We're gonna I think watch Ellie versus Will. Table 1.
Yeah. So we'll get. Well, so
Or we can show. Well,
we should watch some winners, right?
yeah. Well, no. Ellie versus.
Well, that's right. Ellie did win. I was. It's so funny. I was so sure Tom had it, but
Yeah. Let's do Ellie versus Will.
we'll keep watching our winner, and plus this is a sibling match.
Yes, they are
So that's kind of
siblings.
fun to watch. Both very talented players, and so Will is on.
Will is on
really
Mardu.
aggressive Mardu deck.
Yes.
Actually, seeing how aggressive Tom was, I wonder if Will is just gonna kind of make this easy.
I mean, Tom looked more aggressive than Will, but Will definitely has some draw.
That's
there.
right. You said in the final list it ended up being
Yeah.
a little bit more mid range. Are they main decking the black red artifact that makes a 1/1 when you sack something? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So that's kind of more their game plan. Wait.
If Will plays, it really depends on what Will plays on turn 3. They'll dictate how aggressive his game plan is going to be, I think.
Okay. You clicking on things.
They're not streaming yet.
Right, but we can still get these.
Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah.
I guess we don't know who's on which side, huh?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I guess not. We didn't.
Yeah,
we
'cause
didn't
it-
talk about this on air, but
It's like,
is the first one the one we're watching? Is that we were?
Okay. Yeah. It's on the player if you want.
Oh, I see.
Very good. I go to player B. Yeah.
Round 2.
Awesome. Let's pull up the stream.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. This is gonna be a
We
hot.
already had some best friends play
Yep.
with.
Now we got siblings battling it out.
Do we know? So we're watching.
I'll know once I see the.
Of course.
Sam and I were talking about this game as our projected semifinal for this side of the bracket, and it's a very good chance that the person who won this game won the whole thing.
I think that's true. They're the top 2 players in the league. Both of their decks looked fantastic, and both of them are great players. I think that whoever has the unfortunate, opportunity to play them in the last round, or fortunate, want to learn, is gonna have a tough game.
I mean, Eli versus Andrew.
So that's what we're seeing. Eli versus Andrew. So we have
I'm not sure who's favored in that one.
a Bant Golem deck versus like a welded deck. No, Andrew. Sorry, the Rock.
Andrew.
The Rock deck.
Yeah, so yeah, it's Rock versus Bam.
In our 20-person cube group, there are like 7 people whose names start with the letter A.
Yeah, it's real
It's
confusing.
a lot, and most of them have this name Andrew or Anthony. Tomorrow's Aaron's last day. We'll move into Maine.
Oh shit.
Oh, okay. So that makes more sense. That was game 1.
Okay.
Well, that's good. We'll go back in. We'll watch that match. We'll tell everyone else they can, I don't know, have dinner. They can spectate.
Can you type it?
Yeah. Can you go back?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Which one are we doing again?
Just say it was round 1. They messed up. That was game.
It was actually
That was game 1. Can you go into Will and Ellie and tell them to stop playing if they are? Okay, wait. I'm gonna.
Looks like they're all gonna watch. Wait, so okay. Yeah, why don't you pull up Andrew's stream? So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see these sideboarding options, or even just if Andrew's able to play. Oh,
Okay, so
Wow.
we're coming in game 2. Thoughtseize was played for Sinkhole Surveyor. Toby's out, Raven Inspector. This is a good start for Vivian.
The Toby kind of makes this Ophiomancer look a little silly.
That's what Andrew's got going for him.
So when does Toby turn on?
It needs 4 creatures, I believe, tokens.
4 creature tokens.
Yes.
Yeah. And so the question is the clue token does not count.
We got Vata Rebirth on the board, really good with the snake token. This is what Vivian needed last game.
There it is.
Proactive removal.
This is interesting. So this gets rid of the Ophiomancer problem, but this Death Touch snake is still relevant. You just ship with Raven Inspector?
I
You ship with Toby? You ship with them all and you just say attack. I don't know.
I think this is good, knowing Andrew's hand doesn't have a great follow-up play. I don't like attacking with the token. Because Ellie only has 1 card, it feels like if they have a really good follow-up next turn, it's fine, but
I think did Ellie show a helping hand or something like that? Maybe they're worried of just getting the Toby right back. Right there.
Helping Hand is owned by Ellie.
Okay.
Also, we need to change the players again.
Oh.
No, this isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then round.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it's still round 1.
Right. Oh, right.
You're good.
The match is
1-0 for Andrew right now.
0-1.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, cool. We got this, people. We're professionals. Let's see what we've got going on.
I think we are definitely amateurs.
Vivian just attacking. Looks like Andrew drew a dual land last turn. So it's just a
Yeah,
complete whip through a
lot of-
nurtured
A
feeling.
lot of lands and a Hogak.
Ooh, okay. So now,
Yeah, Andrew needs to draw
hey, this
something.
Harvester of Misery doesn't kill the blade hold is the problem.
Wait, but it doesn't it. Sorry, maybe I missed it. It enters, kills the other two creatures, and then blocks the blade hold, right?
1 mana short to play it this turn.
Oh, of course. You're gonna take a lot of damage.
And I don't know if Andrew can take that damage. Let's see what Andrew just got somewhere in his deck, maybe for some answers.
No, it is still a clean answer to what happens after the attack.
Yes.
Really interesting. And notably, Vivian is out of cards for the most part.
Yeah, we got this clue token for Vivian, and then we'll just
The clue token is a big deal.
tap on the top of the deck.
Though, it doesn't matter that you put a bunch of damages and that cave is going to be just
Yeah.
a massive threat.
That cave is going to be the problem for Andrew. Because Andrew doesn't have a great way to deal with that besides blocking.
Goodness. And the Thraben Inspector notably survives. Oh, no, it doesn't because the will go away. But
Yeah, now this Harvester of Misery does nothing.
actually, they just play the 3-1, huh? No kicker?
Well,
Oh, no, there we go.
They have to just, what they actually need to do is
Oh, it's not a
discard.
kicker. It's a ETB ability.
They need to discard the Harvest of Misery to kill the adversary right now. I don't think it'll matter, but that's that's like 5 damage.
Is it lethal? 1, 2. Oh my goodness. And if the trigger resolves, then they can't do that notably, right? It's -2/-2 on the discard ability.
Yeah, but the adversary bumps them all back down some power.
They can wait for that. Wow.
We get to play everyone's favorite sub game of Magic. Did I stack my Hero Blade Hole triggers correctly?
Keeps you honest.
It keeps you honest. We did. We did stack them correctly. Okay, good.
Here's the thing. I don't think it would make much of a difference.
Probably not.
Unfortunately. Or, for our hero.
Thank you, Echelon. Your check is in the mail.
Oh, so he's a professional.
No, the world,
He's the people are professional reviewers or whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are we doing? Okay, we did doing the thing.
Yeah, the thing is, it's 12, and then that what? What are you gonna do? You're gonna.
You have to pay your mana. I know they can't hear us, but I would hope that the wind would take my voice.
Oh, I just don't know. Like,
I mean, Andrew's just playing it out to play it out.
right? It's like I know that was lethal, but it seems like the only way to win this game was to draw Harvester of Misery and play it. So I don't. Maybe they can reanimate some other way. I think Miles took most of. No, I think Andrew has at least one. Animate dead, maybe.
Andrew has
that was
Victimize.
Victimize. Well,
He has Reanimate, which will kill.
I can't play Reanimate.
And that CDC does nothing.
All right. Well, we'll go to game 3.
Yes, this should be game 3. Or they keep doing best of once. This is what is happening.
That's all right. We will give him a second to go back in. We will get this updated.
If they keep doing best of ones, they're not going to be able to sideboard.
Is there a way to sideboard before you
just
like change your deck before you submit it for the event, right? So I don't know if they're doing that. Notably, some of these players, we did force them to play on Magic Online, and they have very little experience, and that's just, no shade to anyone. It's a created program, and who among us hasn't struggled with it?
If you haven't made a mistake on Magic Online, have you really played Magic Online? Okay, so Andrew will be going first, theoretically, in this last one. It's probably going to be random, though.
Right. Can you set it? You just. Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't know if they know, or I don't know how much heads up they're being, but they can always pass the turn. Well, you get an extra card.
Well, they might be able to set it in their settings, but why not?
Either way, this isn't something. There's no money on the line. Just all the fame in Chicago.
What are we waiting for?
I don't know. They're probably trying to figure out how to set it up.
Can we unmute for a second?
Presumably they're just sideboarding.
Okay.
They're gonna do that, then they'll get their game going.
And Will and Ellie are not playing, right?
No,
Okay, no,
they're just sitting there.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I mean, there's not a lot, to be honest, to analyze about that game. If you play all of the best white aggro token cards in a row against the person who drew 7 lands, the game's gonna end.
Vivian's removal lined up really well when they need to line up really well. And that's really what it's going to come down to.
Forcing suboptimal removal because of honestly, that last, I forget what it's called, but the card with the quote unquote quick kicker, the anthem creature that came down. That was
Yes,
really changing. I think without it, there was a couple more turns in this game potentially, but that really just shut it down.
Yeah, no, having to use the Harvester Razor right there really just. We just got confirmation from our sideline reporter Andy that they accidentally did make best of 1 games. I assume they're sideboarding right now. So.
Weird anecdote from the peanut gallery here. I don't even know how you do it. I've only ever made best of 3. Like I've challenged literally hundreds of people doing this. Literally never.
I had no idea what the setting to do that.
I feel like you have to kind of go out of your way for it.
Just like. I'll write something and just be like, oh, I'm good.
Your favorite Girl Scout cookie?
Obviously, Thin Mints. I know that's like the most boring answer, but I don't think it's close. I'm okay. Sorry.
Vivian. Yep, right there.
All right, so we did.
You
Go ahead. You can talk to them. As we could do our little. Which one? Oh, you got it over here, right? Dual camera. Lives. Dang, all right.
Yeah.
I'm glad you spelled Connor's name right.
I'm gonna get a little persnickety with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're probably just figuring it out. Are they, Sam? Do you know? Are they chatting? Like, are they? Oh,
Okay.
You can't join.
Yeah.
That's right. You can't actually double. We'll figure that out next time. But
Okay.
oh, they're actually just going. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
another game in
Great.
progress. So we got turn 2 CDC Grist, and we got turn 2 Squall Tide from Vivian. Andrew did go first, and then let's see what we got here. It looks like no mulligans.
Another. Oh no. Oh yeah, no. We're gonna see another grist into Yawgmoth for this game.
Yep.
Though it's a lot of mana, and they're gonna take a couple turns. The cave does offer a pretty good That's an answer to Planeswalkers, and it's in its own way.
That cave's gonna be good if Vivian has the time to get it going.
And they're not just that treetop village.
The other treat at the village might also be a problem from the opposite way.
No, maybe that's also on the other side. There you go.
Very
Yep.
important Oblivion Ring.
Draft your Planeswalker answers.
Exactly. Targeting Grist. Yep. Okay, great. So now
But now they're gonna feel bad when Yawgmoth comes down.
I think Grist is more of a problem in Yawgmoth.
So if both are on the field, which one do you target?
Right now, Grist. Because
I think-
Yawgmoth doesn't have a ton of like
I
recursion.
think there's also probably more answers for Yawgmoth and Vivian's deck.
Yeah.
Now all Vivian needs is the Staff of the Storyteller to draw 2 cards per turn.
This Priest of the Forgotten Gods is very close to being really good.
Though it noticeably like kind of like an anti-synergy with you can only stack so many creatures. Yawgmoth may be what they're going to prefer to do.
Yeah, I would definitely be attacking with these tokens, Yawgmoth and some stuff away. Maybe trying to find something that makes the CDC work.
We were talking. We now have the DC as a
Yep.
black quote unquote birthing pot. We've got an artifact one in blue,
Yep.
and now we're looking for a red and a red and a white birthing pot. I don't know what they would look like.
The closest thing we have to white is Oswald Fiddlebender. We
Mm.
tried it; it was not good. And then we need something out of red.
Probably would just do random until you reveal, until you hit something of the correct mana cost. Yeah, basically Chaos Warp on a stick.
I mean, Goblin Bombardment is the red birthing pot.
No,
Tell me, spot the lie.
I have no idea what you're saying. Ooh. Hey,
Zorline is could be really good here. Isn't gonna buy back anything on E2B, unfortunately.
it is currently insurance if the living ring gets blown up, though, right? It can put that back in, I believe.
I believe it's CMC 2 or less.
2 or less, 3 or less. But that's their whole theme. It's 2 or less. You're going to be a lot. It's value 3 or less.
Oh, I was wrong.
So you want to talk about old versus new Magic? We keep saying CMC. I don't know if anyone knows what that means. Well, obviously they do, but maybe we should update our terminology.
Andrew wants more than anything else something that can get Yawgmoth away to get the Zorline out of the picture.
You if you just play a third creature, see now you actually can. You put the Vat Rebirth down, play. I'm almost fine putting the Vat down, putting the Priest down, stacking 3 things to get rid of the Zorline. Right now it's not as big of a threat as it can be, but and then you can just put him back. I don't know. That's that's kind of fancy, but
I definitely think we play the Rebirth. Stack
of course we should, yeah.
Sack the insect token, see what we draw, and then go from there.
So we are just, I guess even just making it smaller is a big, that goes a long way.
Probably not wanting to play the Bat just to like keep their plays open this turn.
Especially if they have the reanimate option. That's interesting though. Maybe, yeah, they know we know Andrew's option. There weren't really any maybe, but that's hard to remember in the moment. Okay. Wow.
Probably just play this Priest, sack it off.
So that's what I was trying to get at that, and then
I mean, you can always reanimate the Priest.
right, you can literally reanimate it, or you can battle rebirth it later.
You can also could just proliferate there.
Good point.
Because then you also proliferate the Bat.
Ooh, very cool. I didn't even think about that. I really like
Proliferate is a good
So
mechanic.
that is pay black right, to do so.
Yeah, you play black, and discard a card.
Right.
Discard these lands,
Yeah,
keep your
easy,
Priest.
easy, no problem at all. Yeah, I mean that was almost certainly correct.
Get back the.
Oh, I didn't even think about the obvious play here. Now we can get back our Priest. I still think the proliferate was correct, but this is very cool.
Andrew needs a white source to do that, though.
To play black white. That's
Yeah,
right.
and let's see if I'm gonna go through this list really quick. I don't think he has one.
Do you have any way to make treasures?
Does the City of Truth make your tokens sapphire any color? That's how you do it. That Witching Doll, but that was in the board.
I still think that a 3/3 flyer is going to be very relevant.
It's good regardless.
Well, actually, there's a 3/4 flyer up there, but
Yeah,
that does require all the mana every turn that we're not even at yet.
yeah, Vivian is 2 lands away right now from doing that.
What else is in this? Or there's the priest.
There's the priest, and
And
there's the
DC.
DC.
That's correct. Yes.
What Andrew wants right now is just like a big creature.
And he's got a couple options for just some big things.
Yeah,
right?
it could be Hogak. Could be, honestly, any of the Griths are pretty good here. Harvester of Misery would just wipe the board.
Does the primetime get anything other? Like, is the treetop village the best thing primetime could get? Shifting woodlands.
Yeah, Shifting Woodlands would be the other one.
Very good. This it's interesting. There's lots of draws, lots of games. Yeah. I guess. So is Vivian just looking to? I think Vivian's got to be looking to do what she did last game, which is just make these little guys really big.
Yes.
There's the start.
So now they all have flying. They can't block. So this might be a game for Vivian. I'm just going to try to toxic.
I'm attacking. Right? You attack with all three.
Yep. That's 2 toxic right there.
Oh. I like it. And even if it's not toxic, I mean, we can quickly turn on lifelink, which can definitely,
Yep. And Andrew's only at 10.
yeah, that's a good point. Maybe the same amount of life, huh?
Same amount of life. Vivian waits a turn, probably wants to do one big alpha strike.
Hmm.
So Fuel Mansion, though.
Sorry. I maybe don't mind not attacking here. If I could attack with 3, no, I still think I ship.
Yeah, I think you're just trying
You
to get
only
any
need 3
damage
to get
here.
lifelink. But this is going to start eating these creatures very quickly. Yawgmoth plus a recurring creature generator. Ooh.
And if I was Andrew, that during the next end step, discard that land, get a counter on this Vat of Rebirth, start getting that game plan going.
We'll see if he's noticed that line. I think he clearly didn't notice it before. You know, I don't think we usually think about proliferate on our Vat of Rebirths.
No, yeah, people don't think about that Yawgmoth text.
But there's a. I like that. This 4/4, I know can't attack or block alone, but you make it friends with a Thraven Inspector. I think the Treetop Village again could represent a lot of damage, especially with the 3/3 flyer. I guess they all so even the 4/4 is flying.
Yes, the 4 flies line too.
Oh wait, but you cannot block Zorline, right? There's nothing else to join it in blocking.
Yeah, the only flying blocker that Vivian has is that 4/4.
Right. So Zorline can attack.
That's right. The Orlang can just get through.
And we'll see if Andrew notices. That's Vigilance. It's a free attack.
It's also currently Vivian's turn.
Right. No, I understand that.
I think
There we go.
Andrew just passed last turn and could have attacked last turn.
I think maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah, I got lost in that too. Yeah, I would just kill Toby here.
No, that's right. Then they just lose flying. And then you can just block a bunch of these things. You can eat the Scavenger with the Yawgmoth. Whatever. I mean, I think you probably block the
Okay, we're drawing a
Thraben
card.
Inspector. Yeah, like I was saying, I think the Thraben Inspector was a good way to make Toby defensive, though Vivian's on the attack here. But now I think you can easily get rid. Like Andrew has an option to get rid of it here, make that Toby Beast token kind of nothing. A Mog flunkies.
Yeah, I think you have to sack something. I think you probably just sack a Humans. Maybe, and then use the token to block the big token.
Interesting. Yeah. And then you can we can put the Ophiumancer right back into play, right?
Exactly.
Another flyer. I think this is actually a really tight game. I think there's some draws and some plays here that can really swing it. But again, I want to point out, take too much damage here, and that Cave of the Dragon is just. Interesting. Still gonna reanimate it.
This was a very inefficient way to get to the same answer.
Well, it's unfortunately not the same answer because Vivian still has her beast token.
Yeah.
But
Like
okay,
the
a
brutality came in.
lot of game pieces on the board. Well, less now.
I think this collective brutality is going to help a lot.
Did Zorlin not attack because Vivian? I don't know, Vivian didn't have enough mana. Never mind to turn on the dragon. So
Brutality is insane here, and Andy makes a good point of using Treetop to sack to kill Toby before it blocks.
there you go.
Yeah, sometimes you don't. Treetop builds can just be a creature you sack the Yogg.
Complicated game.
It is a complicated game. Vivian having to sack the clue token. Wonder if they have any follow-ups here.
Well, they didn't play. Vivian didn't play a land for a couple turns, and I think that there's at least 2 spells in her.
That's how you do it. I hit delete.
Oh, battery rebirth before it can come back. Pretty strong. Dang, that's
Tom. Andrew still got some play here, but we need a little bit more than what we got.
wow. Okay. So
we discard that to brutality for sure.
I think this might be a big turn for Andrew. We discard it. Can we discard it? Play the scavenger and then Hogak?
I think so.
We have that much mana. I mean, Hogak doesn't cost any mana.
Yeah, no. You tap Yogg and you tap Sinkhole Surveyor. You play Hogak. You keep Zoraline untapped. You can delve a bunch of cards away. You brutality away the Loran.
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me. And
And
then you just try to land. I feel like you do all the modes right here. Right? All it does is make Hogak cheaper, keeps the stuff in the graveyard we care about.
it gets Andrew some more life just for doing the simple drain.
I really want to go back and look if there was a missed Zoraline attack. I think that those 3 life may be very relevant here. Okay, let's see what he decides to do. Lots of options. Clearly, you can see thinking about them all. I think they're trying to see if there's any woodland options instead. I think he wanted to know, but going with what I think we talked about here.
Yep, going with the Sinkhole first.
And now, wait, so you said actually the collective brutality was not in the main deck, is that correct?
Yeah, no.
And this is that you were saying you thought it would be very strong, and here's proving that it's in this deck.
It also gets cards in the graveyard for Delirium.
Or at least in this, particular situation, it looks really good.
Why are we're too focused on Yawgmoth right now. Way too focused on Yawgmoth. Brutality does the same exact thing as Yawgmoth. There we go. Okay, Andrew shifting back.
Nice. Okay, so I think exactly what we talked about.
Cool.
Making sure to pick the modes correctly. -2/-2. Okay.
Discards the lands instead of Hogak.
Whoops. Wait. Yeah. So I mean, that's just like less efficient, but you can still cast Hogak from your hand, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. It is less efficient.
One less card or whatever. Would they have had the ability to? I don't know if he played it like. Oh, didn't even play it.
Doesn't play Hogak.
I think that would have been game.
That would have been it. I think Andrew is rushing through his turns a little bit. Okay, so Staff and Sarah Paragon were the cards out of Vivian's hand.
Right. So it's interesting. I'm hoping. I know Andrew had expressed a little bit concern. I hope it wasn't just like like skip the turn or something. I'm not
Yes.
sure, but
I would hope that's not the case, but the staff and the Sarah Paragon do anything here. So you can play Sarah Paragon in 1 mana. It gives you a Thraben Inspector, which is it's
I mean,
fine.
that's a card, right? Next turn.
It's also it's like another draw for Vivian. That's 2 more life for Vivian. It's those percentage points that Andrew is losing.
I think we would have seen a land immediately in this cave come across. So I think Vivian did draw another spell.
I like Vivian's line here of just trying to push
Yeah,
things through.
shipping it in, you're gonna lose some stuff, but Vivian's. We know that because of Yawgmoth, all of Vivian's creatures are gonna get eaten anyway.
We're letting the Yawgmoth die to. Oh.
Oh, so you can put it on the 3/3, but I'm not sure. We sacking Zorline to do that? We're just bouncing.
We did get Shigeki, a good card. But I don't think we need it, but we can buy back some pretty solid things here. I still think the plan should be Hogak.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we, if we see the Sarah Paragon come down, and there's like a clear opening. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Sarah Paragon with that flying, though, does make things tricky.
Um, maybe Vivian likes putting a 3/2 into play. The Scrap Heap Scrounger. I don't know if that's the most impactful. I think we just I think if Vivian I like playing staff and drawing some cards. So again, the Sarah Paragon does block the 3/3, and I think maybe Vivian has to ask that classic question of how do I lose. So maybe there's a 1/1 flyer.
Yeah, they're leaving themselves 1 blocker.
Still no land.
Still no land.
Still no dragon.
Now think of it. Now, obviously, Vivian would have done things. I think maybe one thing differently. And imagine if there's a Hogak on this board for Andrew. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk to him later. Put him on blast or anything. Maybe, but given that he had perfect information, it's really interesting to understand. Maybe honestly, it could be a classic example of forgot to discard it, tilted and passed the turn.
Sure.
Who among us? CB a 9/9, it would come through for lethal right now. The attack would have been undoable last turn. I think I like playing the hierarch, removing the flying blocker, and then attacking with 6 power.
Also you don't get the Exalted trigger now.
Well, I think playing the hierarch and animating Treetop Village was a very powerful play.
No, I don't. And he does have the Delirium for this woodland. So that's just like another option he has to like get more aggressive, and he's playing this game as if he's on the back foot. And he's not. He's in the driver's seat.
But he realized, maybe the 8/8 trample, would have changed that, but we're just jamming.
I would assume Shigeki and Ignoble get tapped here. Getting rid of a bunch of lands and reanimate.
So last turn, if Hogak came down tapping Yawgmoth, did a single removal spell represent lethal? Was that a calculation they were making?
I don't think so.
And I thought you wouldn't play around it, right? Like, where they rip the 1 removal spell? No, because you have Hogak.
And you also have information.
Yeah. We know. It would be a 1 draw step. I think you would always roll those dice.
Yeah, I just think you kind of roll the dice in that state.
If you don't miss an attack from the bat, you're at 1 more life.
Yep, that's true. There it is.
Oh, and then there's this.
Yeah, they'd be dead.
Yeah.
3.
Well,
Lifelink. Lifelink.
they're going to have lifelink. It might make the game go a little bit longer. Yeah. Last turn was the turn to win the game. I still think Andrew's looking good here, but there's options now for Vivian. Vivian really needs to draw one of these removal spells that can clear out.
I think we're thinking that the Vivian maybe just needed more interaction.
Yes. This Fateful Absence isn't going to be enough. It's like the only clean answer I think Vivian has left. Noted if they had Blood Artist here, it would be really good.
We do have the land finally. What if, yeah.
So Sarah Paragon is the one card we know. And we can't go Sarah Paragon Toby. We can still go Sarah Paragon into Thraben Inspector.
Yeah. Here's the place, and again, Blood Artists would have been, Yawgmoth does negate Blood Artists, but that aside, holy cow, what the kind of reach it provides. Kind of would you say it was the most underrated Magic card?
Yeah, Blood Artist has become the most underrated Magic card of all time. I don't know how it happened, but shout out Blood Artist. Vivian is at 3, which is the exact amount of life a bat would have done.
Right, exactly. And honestly, the bat's still representing that 3.
I think because people have agreed that Bitter Blossom is no longer a good Magic card, I think people have forgotten to realize that Bitter Blossom effects deal a damage.
I don't know if it's that it's not good. It's that it either
we know what I mean.
Feel bad or remains insane, and we didn't like that.
Well, no, I'm not saying particularly in our cube. I'm just saying, like, in general.
Sure, you don't see it in a modern tournament.
Yeah, the cube community as a whole, I think, is lessened on Bitter Blossom. Here's the Sarah Paragon.
You've always hated Paying Life. You notoriously hated Phyrexian Arena.
I was on the Bitter Blossom and Phyrexian Arena was bad from the start.
I think that's game as. I mean, I don't know what this one card is, but
Here's the Toby. Is this lethal?
Yeah, so we can because Andrew wants to kill Toby and the Spirit Token anyway. I think it's like advancing Andrew's game plan and surviving this turn are the same thing, and Andrew should be fine. Oh no, but Andrew's gonna gain 3 life.
Andrew's gonna gain 3. Vivian's gonna gain some.
Sorry, I meant Vivian's going to gain 3. And that's a good point. So, will Andrew take 6? Can Andrew afford to sacrifice these creatures to Yawgmoth? Yes. Oh, Sarah Paragon remains a blocker, I see. But there's still a Hogak.
There is still a Hogak. I mean, I think Vivian has to attack no matter what, just to hope a mistake gets made. Andrew. We also got this Treetop Village, which is going to help soak up some damage. I don't think it's a win. But, I mean, all these tokens have flying. That's a bunch of damage. That being said, though, just kill the Toby, and we don't have this problem anymore. Instead of saving the cheerleader to save the world, you have to kill Toby to save the world. The big difference.
Yeah.
Gain some life. Do some blocks. Hopefully we do them correctly. It looks like we are. Vivian will go back up to 7. Go back up to 8.
You like blocking some of the creatures that were blocking the lifelink creatures could have been sacked. Since we're going to do that anyway to gain less life and get that win next turn. I mean, here's more blocks. I think this is Andrew's game to lose at this point. I think quite literally attack is a win, but maybe not quite. That block's there. Those 2 block together. 5. Yeah, no, it's not quite 8 damage, so we do have to do something. Though I think we have what it takes. Wait, what about the Stirring Wildwood? Is that just
There's nothing
what does that represent?
super good in the graveyard.
Okay.
to get. I mean, we animate the treetop village.
I think Andrew should probably just proliferate the staff of storyteller. Is there advantage to doing this? Oh, so okay, so maybe they see the proliferate
So they're-
line this time.
They're trying to, I think, clear the Sarah Paragon and this token, so they can just attack with Hogak and win because they won't be able to block. And it looks like they're going to be able to do that.
Yeah, and they see that line, and there it is.
Yep.
All right, well, the Hogak still got there.
Hogak still got there.
Maybe-
Oh, wait. Nope. They messed up. Oh, wait, no, the token can't block.
Neither of these creatures
So,
can
yeah,
block.
neither of these creatures can block. Yep. Okay. Can't block.
I do think that Toby is not a card that a lot of Magic players have played with.
Nope.
So give everyone's attempts. Completely understandable. I don't even, where's Toby from? Do you remember where that? It's some commander card.
Murders.
Right? It's a murder. It's just straight up being murders.
I think
Okay.
it's a murders.
One of the sets that I kind of was taking a break during. Well, I don't take a break. We were Cuban. We weren't paying attention.
It's murders on this one. It's one.
Okay.
Awesome.
All
So,
right. Well, there you go. Andrew takes it. So our final round is going to be. Nope.
It changes.
Okay. Oh, that's right. It was still round one. It felt like a second
Yeah.
round. That's so funny. Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever. We get a lot of Magic today.
okay, so,
All right. So moving on to round two, and we're still going to do Will and.
well, it's Ellie versus Andrew now.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Eli
Okay.
versus Will. Tom versus Miles. And Vivian versus Anthony. So we have Ellie versus Andrew and Eli versus Will. I think we watch Eli versus Will.
Yeah, I think we should watch the new decks. We
Yeah.
don't want to watch two decks we've already seen. So okay, Eli versus Will. Okay, we're just gonna get that going.
Yeah. Close stream. And let's see, they're at table 2. Disconnect.
I see. I like our Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
Connor and Sam both own Yu-Gi-Oh Cube.
This is true.
Yeah, so lots of Cube going on. I think there's again, quoting these people too much, but there's a pure example of Cube will outlive Magic.
Oh, well, no,
You now own a Magic Cube, a Yu-Gi-Oh Cube,
And
and
a
a Pokemon Cube. That's right. Sorry, we're doing
table 2.
table 2. All right. And we don't know who's going to be streaming. So yeah, this is going to be Eli on Vant Golems with a Brennard,
Yes.
and Will again on a very aggressive.
Mardu aggro.
I think that this is close because they're both kind of mid-rangey. I want to say that Eli goes way bigger.
I think Eli goes bigger, but I think Eli's deck is more inconsistent draw-wise.
Okay.
Solid hand, maybe a little subpar for Will. 4-H Zergo, Hangerback Walker. Cards that you can play on
I mean, hey, look.
with turn 1, 2, and
maybe,
3.
yeah, I said maybe you get to play 1, 2, 3, and that's if I said Eli was going to go, bigger. Hey, that's a great way to just get underneath him. Oh,
Noble Hierarch dies.
there's a way to go bigger, faster. But torch the tower, bunch of text. It's a shot. Oh,
They decided to go for Shadowy Backstreet instead. I mean, I'll keep that on top.
it's fine. Now the Hangerback Walker can be something giant later on.
Yeah. I would
I
be.
mean, I don't think that the 1/1 necessarily represents much in this game. I think I would have been tempted to not take this line, and maybe now actually thinking about it, I like it a lot. Do we? Ooh,
I think we just keep the big over
I think
removals.
I would rather. Yeah, okay, but ooh, there's so many things that exiling is relevant.
This is true.
2 versus 3. The instant speed keep in your hand. I don't know. It's tough.
Eli's deck is probably one of the decks I would worry the least about with graveyard shenanigans.
Actually, that's a good point. I think golems are 3/3 powered creatures.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. Well, the classic one is.
Top cookie on
See, in
turn
this
2.
case, would have been great the other way around, right?
Yes.
We would have loved to exile this card. I promise you that Eli has a way to get this card back.
I think I'm okay with not even strangling this and just going Zergo.
I think you have to. I think that's absolutely the right play. Otherwise, it's just so inefficient.
Yeah. I mean, if they attack with like the food token, they use the whole turn to do that.
Oh, I think Will feels great about that.
Yeah.
Doesn't Zergo represent more damage anyway?
Zergo does represent more damage. Absolutely. And then next turn, we can go a Hangerback Walker, X=2. We can Strangle if we need to, play Clockwork. We have options.
Apparently, so does Eli. Do you? What do you think? Like all else the same. Do you think you just jam a 2/2 Hangerback Walker here?
I think so. I think that's what you want to be doing.
Like you said, the calculation that the threat that Tough Cookie represents has not changed. We're happy if they're spending their turn in this early in the game, attacking with a temporary 4/4.
And it's tough because if I play a 2/2 Hangerback Walker and have a Zergo out, that's two things you need to deal with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you're not going to want to deal with a Hangerback Walker, and the more time you give me with it, it just gets better.
And we know that the path is elsewhere. I don't know if there are a lot of clean ways that Eli has. I mean, maybe he's got some of the.
Eli's second
Artifact
best removal
Living
spell
Rings?
is Chain of Vapor. So a lot of Eli's removal, especially the sweepers and the artifact removal, are in the board. So Eli's got a Condemn and a Chain of Vapor.
Oh, damn that!
That's better than Hangerback Walker. I just want to let the record state.
Imagine if this was Swamp with a mountain.
Oh,
Oh no! So they've decided to do this. I wonder if the open mana represents counter magic that they're just like we can play a Nymphicall at another time.
That's true. Notably, Eli does not have any of the counter in the main deck, but Eli doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry.
you. Yeah. Yes. Will doesn't know that Eli
We are watching.
is
Will.
not playing the
We're
counter.
Eli.
And I don't like playing the Hangerback. We're not being super efficient with the mana this way.
We do see that most of this mana is tied up for a number of turns. That might just be the logic there.
Sure. And we're at the point where Eli's deck is going to start getting bigger, and getting this Amenable call out a turn earlier just to get the counters on things, I think would have been a big help.
Does Eli have? Oh, there's the actual Renard.
I mean, I think Eli's just hoping this Bernard sticks, but it's not great on this board.
Each creature you control, that's a food or a golem, gets +2/+2 trample, but that's not the relevant text.
Not the relevant text.
Oh,
Doesn't matter. Nice card.
Chainsaw, one of the most powerful cards we've been playing. Not only here does it have a removal spell, but it represents a change in the clock.
Can you equip Chainsaw with non-red mana?
Equip 3.
It's 3. Okay, so we're mana short.
Notably triggers on your opponent's creatures as well. On yours and theirs. Zergo and Chainsaw anti-synergy. Get it out of the queue. And now we're just going to see hangerback start ticking up.
Yep.
And
We've seen a lot of like great impactful top decks so far.
wait, that's true. That is definitely true. I'm actually still just loving that first match we watched. What a fun game that was. I'm going to get both of them in here later no matter what.
Oh wait, the chainsaw is not anti-synergy, but Zergo. It still gets the counters.
I think the joke was simply that the tokens don't get sacrificed. They don't. Yeah. Eli has.
Yeah. Eli,
Vanquish the Horde. Yeah, right.
it's on the board.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a thing.
This card is gonna make a 2/2. That's not enough.
Yeah, Zergo. Oh,
Well, here's an Emery, but that's
maybe it can hit a bauble.
it can play right now. It can play Tough Cookie.
It can't
It can also play Riptide Gear Hulk.
next turn. Yes.
Yes. But I assume Will's gonna top deck some great removal piece that.
I'm not sure it matters. I think with the Nimbicall and this chainsaw, Will's gonna be fine. Oh,
The Bugbear is not bad. That being said, let's play this Amenable Call on Stars. Racing. I've never seen someone play Amenable Call tepidly. They normally just play it.
well, it was around. I do think that Will was playing around counter magic.
Yes.
We actually know that there is an essence scatter in Eli's list. For example,
Yes.
remove soul actually.
Yeah, it's a remove soul. I
Like
believe
we
it's
said,
in
old
the
heads.
it's in the board.
Right, but presumably, well, I mean, Will wouldn't know that.
Yeah, no, yes. No. Will is playing assuming that Eli has interaction, but as we know, in game one, Eli has no interaction.
But I think here it is.
There we go. I would attack with Zergo and Hairback Walker.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think otherwise, next turn that Golem was going to be even bigger.
Yeah.
Trading it for 2 1/1 flyers that can pressure Karn seems totally fine. Or life total. I don't know which one is. Oh, we're going to pressure Karn now.
I think I would go face, but I get wanting to go for Karn. I think we're
I think
giving.
we can remove Karn right now, guaranteed with these tokens. Is that true?
We would be, I think, a point short.
So Will decides that they want a 3/3 Hangerback Walker.
This feels like an example of you have to know you're the aggressor. And I don't think Will fully appreciates the fact that he is the one in the driver's seat.
Yes, we do have a video up on YouTube.
This is true.
With, just discussion of these decks. You can see the full deck lists, and our Connor and Sam's take on them. I think.
Yes.
Okay. So all these creatures that come in that are created in combat you can choose their attacks, right?
Yes.
They're not for some reason going at a.
And now we're going to just lose Zergo. They're not going to get rid of Karn.
This is why the Hangerback Walker attack was.
Yeah,
Good.
this is why we attack with Hangerback Walker. Exactly.
Yeah. In hindsight, it was always going to be double blocked. Probably. Well, unless they have to play that, Gear Hulk or something next turn.
I agree with getting rid of the Emery. And they won't be able to make a Karn struct, but you're still giving them a card with this Karn that you didn't need to give them.
So, if I understand you correctly, the creatures the tokens actually went at
Oh, they went at face?
Eli, and the Karn can make a construct. I do think so. That's why I asked, because I saw Will clicking on and stuff, and I'm wondering if it was a misinput or I couldn't say, but.
Now I just feel like Will is in a similar board position without a Zergo. And this is why we attack with Hangerback Walker. Also, if we get more tokens, with this hangerback walker, they die. They make this chainsaw even better.
Just a flying token with a chainsaw on it is like
Yeah.
a game in 2 turns.
We're at the point now where just put chainsaw on something and start punching people.
Birthing pod.
This birthing pod doesn't do anything.
And we know that there's maybe only one drop in Eli's list. We know that there's at least one on the board.
Yeah, spyglass sirens on the board.
Which I think would have been very good here.
Haywire mites on the board. So gilded goose is the option.
Ooh. Ashnod's Harvester has been an absolute all-star in this cube. It attacks for it's so much damage.
Yeah.
And it exiles the relevant creatures. It is just a little guy that is an absolute powerhouse.
I think we just equip this chainsaw to this hangerback walker and we just start hitting people in faces.
Hangerback Walker cares about counters, not power.
Correct.
That would be rough. Or Rancor. Do we just shift with the Clockwork Percussionist? Either represents a damage or a card, and we just call it a day, right?
Absolutely.
Counter on a chainsaw.
Yeah, I think Will is not appreciating his seat as the aggro player. Just I think play out the clockwork, equip the chainsaw,
And attack with everything.
just attack with everything.
Yeah, I think we put the chainsaw even maybe on the 1/1.
Yep.
They have to double block the Nimble Call, they take a bunch of damage. They have to double block the Hangerback Walker if we get our tokens.
And then after everything is dead and gone on the board, we have this Den of the Bugbear.
Right.
We can put the chainsaw on that if we get the mana for it. Put in the
Okay, sure, why not? Hasty 5. Here's a dragon monkey. Didn't expect that, did you?
We are attacking with all creatures except the Amin Pakal. No, I just
I think we just send 3 damage over,
we
right?
just send 3 damage
Just,
over.
you know. Especially because of the Den and Ashnod is a double attacker. It's just going so much attack. These Hangerback represents 2 attackers.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did like not doing that mislethal.
Do we have instant speed condemn? Do we have the condemn for the clockwork?
I think they might have condemn in the list.
Well, I think you have to hit the Hangerback with condemn.
I think
and
you
take
do,
the
too.
5. Are we just going to 1? And like you said, it missed lethal.
Well, I think
It would have blocked differently.
it would have blocked differently, but like
Yeah.
that's still you gave them the option
Right.
to block how they wanted to block. I mean, I still think this game is going to be a win for Will. I think we're going to be seeing a concession here pretty shortly after we see a card and a food token sack. But if there's one thing that's been consistent about tonight's games is all the games have gone maybe like 1 to 2 turns longer than they've needed to.
Sure. Yeah, there's a couple times now. Also, Karn was Eli's first pick.
Yes.
And showing here how powerful this list would have been if we had a little bit more time. But I don't think it's going to be quite enough.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Will take game 1. We'll see how Will decides to side in this game. Brings in the Gleeful Demolition and the Alibu.
I like the Alibu.
I like that a
I think
lot.
it should probably always be in play.
And the Dixon
An
Engineer.
Impacall makes 1 artifacts. All these creatures make artifacts. An Impacall.
Yeah.
Or Alibu, I should say. I don't know if you've ever scried 7. but it's real fun.
We're taking out the Goblin Engineer first. What's funny, these are all things that Sam and I talked about in the linked video. These are the exact cards we would have added. Maybe Will saw it and watched it. I doubt it. We didn't post it anywhere. But let's see what these other 2 cuts are. I think Armix is probably good enough to keep in. I think you probably cut Bray as a
I
Prentice.
was looking at Bray's Apprentice, though. I remember Will speaking really highly of Bray's Apprentice, considering Bray's Apprentice like still in the draft as like a signal even.
Sure.
So they Will obviously is a fan. It is, it's 3 mana, but it doesn't have a lot of options.
I mean, if you were trying to play more on board with Diggside, I can understand cutting Armix.
It's interesting. So we spoke so highly of Alibu, but maybe there is something here about going lower to the ground, showing how powerful that was.
And we're cutting a land, going to 16.
We've added 9 mana cost cards and cut a land.
I like
That style. I think that this says attack, kill a creature every time, and then they block and it kills 2 creatures. It's a golem.
This is true. I would be okay with keeping Armix for that reason, and that Eli's was really trying to play on the board a lot more. But if, like what you said is true about Will really valuing Bray as Apprentice, I can see how wanting to play that instead.
Even hate. I know that it goes crazy with so many cards, but like the Oni-Code Anvil almost seems slow here.
I would be okay with cutting that. I'm also really okay with cutting this arc by back.
So obviously, Will is not trying to go faster now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play some artifacts, and I'm gonna attack and kill them. But what we also know is that Eli's gonna bring in a board.
Eli's got Vanquish the Horde that's coming in. I would not be surprised if we see more counter spells coming out of Eli, like Negate and Remove Soul. I think Eli can play stuff like Diversion Unit if that wasn't already in the main deck. Eli, I think, should be cutting out all the stuff in his deck that's cute. The Birthing Pods. I would include the Emery. I don't think it's that great in his deck.
I actually I like Gadrick here. I think that if we're gonna add all these cards and have so many mana sinks, even just generating a token might be good. A random 5 attack in the air could be good.
Absolutely.
But we talked about these cards a lot, the Gadricks and the Ventress Gargoyles, really weird, complex flyers. I don't think a lot of people have given them their shot.
No.
Yeah. Also, maybe he just thinks it looks like a funny face.
It does look like a funny face.
I wouldn't know how to draw a dragon from that perspective. So, I wonder if this was a mistake. We will find out soon enough what happened here.
Go to the Discord, see if we can figure out what's going on here. Oh, that's disconnected from the call. We don't want to do that.
I just wanted to see both.
Nope, not this.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, so they are creating a new match.
Eli timed out while sideboarding. Okay. Okay, they're making a new match.
Oh, you get a game loss? Well, time out. So it doesn't just kick you into the game? Well, either way, we'll see them soon. Hopefully they can, end up where they want to be.
Want to go to table 1 really quick?
Let's
We can
do it.
just get a quick look at how our other 1-0 match is going.
All right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh,
So Ellie's doing it.
that's what we're talking about. This is why Ellie's deck is just Uro and a Operation. Like, we weren't supposed to add.
And Hogak and this Hogak.
These are all the broken cards.
Yeah, these are all the
We talk
broken
about power
cards.
outliers. There they are. It's amazing look how many lands are in play.
Yeah.
Both how many and how few.
Ellie's got 4 cards left in their deck.
Oh my goodness. Are they? There's no way they're gonna 20 life. Wow, this is.
Get Crucible with this Renegade Rallier.
Oh, and then maybe just make
Keep
a bunch
triggering.
of 5/3s, a bunch of zombies. Oh my goodness. But notably, is Uro draw require draw and attack?
I
No,
guess.
it's just an ETB attack. It's just an ETB.
No, it's an ETB and
an
attack.
attack, right? It's a big old Titan. Okay. So I don't know. What a silly game, but looking like we can do 20 in attack in 1 attack. Look at this list.
This is wild. I'm glad that we saw some of this. Our previous game is live.
We'll jump in there. Just one moment. If we don't see a concede here, we'll jump in. But looks like
Yeah, it looks
Andrew's digging.
Andrew's digging for anything. Risk is gone. Lethal Seam is gone for them. Priest, yeah, this
All right.
is.
Looks like that's going to be the game. If not, we'll hear about it later. But we'll switch back to.
Yes, this is very much pod
Oh
racing.
my goodness. This game, right?
No, disconnect.
Sorry. Oh, that's.
Yep,
okay.
we gotta go because we popped it out.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Okay, back to Will.
Okay, we're catching up this game in turn 2 from what it looks like. Turn 1, Clockwork Percussionist. With the piggy bank? Oh, this hand is
I don't
fast.
think our only code. I didn't know that existed. Is that an online only card?
No, I think it is Old Border.
I don't think so. Because I don't actually like. I love Old Border. I don't like the
Yeah.
gold, and I think I would remember the one.
Sure.
Because to be honest, I changed the art on the overview.
It is in paper.
Check one specifically.
Right, you're the
It's
best.
like a quarter more.
Whoa, whole quarter.
Eli not off to a on the board start. That might prove a problem here in a second.
Watch Emery come down. Go crazy.
Let's see if Emery comes down now with the spell bomb.
Well, also, fun fact: Piggy Bank's gonna do 9 damage. Prediction.
Yep. Piggy Bank is a good Magic the Gathering card.
People don't block it. They're
No.
wrong, but they don't block it.
Ooh, here we see the Condemned for the Clockwork Percussionist.
If only they had waited for the Piggy Bank.
They should have waited for the Piggy Bank.
It was a misplay. They should have known better.
It's better than Abbott, that's for sure.
Abbott was so of all the cards that I thought were actually going to be broken, that was one of them, and it didn't do anything.
Nope.
Whatever. It's obviously the cycle is my signed Young Pyromancers.
Let's see if we get anything from Eli. The Springleaf Drum is useless. The Condemn. Oh, another pass.
Uh-oh. Maybe he's got more interaction. Maybe we don't know what they brought, and also maybe he is holding a board wipe.
It could be a Heritage Reclamation that we're seeing right now. It could be one of the counter spells. A negate here, for example, would be if Eli brought in Remove Soul and that's what he's holding up right now. Ooh,
That would be unfortunate.
bad time to
That would be
have
unfortunate.
Remove Soul.
We can play Chromatic Star, sack it to the.
Yep.
Ooh.
Look, that's-
Again, it wasn't because it wasn't good. It was because it was too good. Yeah. And I also thought it was in the 5-color deck, which was making me really uncomfortable about it. But we've really put a lot of effort to not making the 4 and 5-color decks the best.
And
But
I think the 5-color deck is
In this
only
format-
doable in this.
format, it was with all those lands, it was very difficult to stop them.
Gleeble Demolition though is sick, right?
That's really cool. If we're just gonna hit.
Nice Witching Well.
Did we even hit it though? Or did we just wait?
Here's the thing about Witching Well. It doesn't block.
Right. Like I mean, I know they can get some cards with it, but that takes a turn.
Miles and Tom are going to game 3 after Tom keeps a 1-lander with Preordain up a game and bricks.
Who among us has not done the same?
No, I do that all the time.
Yeah, Sam's never put Preordain in a deck in his life.
Yeah.
It doesn't deal 3 damage. It actually does. It flips Delver of Secrets and it does 3 damage.
Yeah,
Just
the
for the
closest,
record.
the closest he's gotten to Preordain is Cymatic Blast. And a Zergo?
Oh my goodness. And the anvil says whenever an artifact's put in the graveyard, you make it 1, right? Once per turn, and
Yep.
then you can sack a creature. And what happens when you actually activate it? It
Thanks.
just pings. Okay.
Gleeful.
Well, first you attack.
No, you gleeful the token. Draw 3 tokens.
Well, Zergo, oh yeah, that's for next turn.
It was.
Well, Zergo doesn't have haste.
Doesn't matter. You kill the token.
Well, he's going to kill the token right now. Just in the
That's
second turn.
right. I always forget. Zergo has other text. Zergo just
Yeah.
does the 3/3 that makes guys. seem
No,
smart,
that's,
but-
I mean,
Yeah. Holy cow. Also, I always wanted Gleeful to make artifact creatures, but I'm just realizing in constructed you could just start like that would be, obviously you can't do that. I said you shouldn't play it.
It looks
That
like.
shows what I know.
I mean, Will's been playing this game pretty safe, so I think we'll probably just see a Pyrite Spellbomb come down here if Will decides to play anything.
So we could see Eli play a creature. He didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, Will's been playing this
So
game.
to be fair, maybe I don't mind that. We know that there's a board wipe here, and we don't want to play into it, I guess. But now we don't see that. I think do you feel confident if you're Will now that Eli does not have a board wipe?
I was confident about that last turn, I think.
Okay. No, they didn't have the mana for it last turn.
Well, the board wipe is Vanquish the Horde.
Right, it's 2 white mana, right?
Yeah, it's 2 white mana.
Which
It's also,
they just played he played the second white mana.
it would have been 6 mana to cast before the Asika's Chariot.
I mean, are we going to see a Gleeful Demolition on the Asika Chariot, and then just that's game?
No, I think we just kill one of the cat tokens, we play
We
Chainsaw,
don't even care. Right?
kill the other one. Wait, we just don't care.
Yeah.
Because this is lethal.
Is it really? Oh
Yeah,
my
after we
goodness.
chainsaw the other
That's what we were talking about, but just wildly aggressive.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Jan Jansen.
I'm not.
It
So now we're gonna see the Gleeful Demolition.
is a sorcery.
Yeah, but
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Yep. Oof. Yeah, sorry, Eli.
I like how you're trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna kill them.
They did have it. Still had all these.
Yeah.
Literally, look at these.
Come on, let's see it. Let's see it. Oh yeah.
How much damage did Piggybank do? 9 damage.
9 damage. It's such a good card. A card that's really good in Welder, by the way. I'm gonna say that unprompted. Eli's at 1, but
In combat. Oh, beautiful.
it doesn't matter.
Zergo. And in the game. Wow. Yeah, sorry, Eli. There's just nothing you can do.
Will in the final convincingly. We don't have one more game that we can stream. We can go back to our Ellie Andrew game. Just double click it.
Because usually that was
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we got going on here. This looks like
The
it's.
same thing.
Is this the same game? No. It doesn't say match 2.
Oh, at least 3 cards.
That's what I'm saying. I think it is game 2 though, because this is.
Uh-oh. Oh, of course I can't scroll the... Can't be the same game. No, yeah, I mean, there's 3 cards in the library. I guess, to be fair, we went over to that game and it ended. Yeah. Wow. I mean, Andy would know. Andy, is this the same game that we were watching earlier?
Yeah.
I guess maybe Andy is listening to their game, though.
Yeah, well, if Andy, if you're watching and you were following, do you know what game this is? Did Eli just say, like, what the hell happened in the cube group?
You gotta see the gift on some.
Yeah, I saw.
That's good. Eli did get wrenched, unfortunately for Eli. And you're not getting any carrots of salary. That's just ranch. Just a pure unadulterated ranch. I think this is a second game, even though it looks exactly the same.
Yeah, I don't think so. There's no way they got back down to...
I
We only watched 3 turns of a game.
That's
in
true,
match.
but
Yeah.
how is this game still going? It's.
I think because
it's okay. So
Ellie has a very real chance of losing this game.
that's true. Andy believes it's the same game.
Wow, what if I honestly I kind of like rooting for Andrew just for the story. Don't surveil. Oh, they were just highlighting it. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think what happened is the bunch of removal spells were played to even the board, and then the scavenging use ate them. So then I can't really tell what happened. I mean, we could go over here.
Yeah, I thought there were a lot more cards
There was a repeal played.
just in play, but I guess not.
If you remember, there was the new lighthouse and all of its tokens, which was
Yes.
that's what was in play.
I don't believe there's a way in the cube to put cards back in the library.
There, the Volgas Stronghold is one of the ways to stall out of a draft.
That's
I think
true.
I want to say there's one more, and we have talked about finding some. They just feel so narrow. Honestly, I think that if you're going to commit to this is like we like that the 5-color deck was punished for doing this. No, shade to the player. Just
Yeah.
it's fun that there are these lines, and it's like I don't know if you were going to be that greedy.
I think Ellie does have a path to win. Maybe not this turn, and I think it might require what's still on the deck. Honestly,
Quackfeast, Life in the Loam, Baleful Strix, Atrog. Incredible.
I mean, Andrew really fought through a lot of stuff.
We really said this game's over. We'll
Yeah.
see you later. And it. The green's up, so you can't trade with Hogak, right? So you just jump.
Depending on what happens, you might just take it. And you could block with Uro just because you can't really.
I don't think you can take
attack
it, right?
with it.
And then you die because it.
Well, you're at 12. You got some life.
Well, no, I'm saying if this 8/8, that was an 8/8, right?
Yeah.
And they can activate it twice, making it a 10/10, and then they die. Right? Am I missing something? Oh,
How are they putting counters?
with the scavenging use. Isn't that what it does? Am I being crazy here? What's going on? They had 2 green mana.
Oh,
exile these
sorry.
creatures.
I thought you were talking about Hogak attacking.
No. Definitely, you just take that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying, from Andrew's perspective, you can see this 8/8. You might want to block it, remove it, but I think there's no reason you can just.
No, yeah, I think Andrew just takes it.
Was it already? I guess I missed what happened there, but
The question is not what does Andrew have? Does Andrew have anything really good here? Shigeki? Not like a ton of really decent stuff you can bring back. All these cards are kind of whiffs.
I wonder if there's anything you could reanimate.
There's a CDC, an Ignoble Hierarch,
Something you pay like you
a
just have
Snoring
to
Goron,
survive.
a Carrion Feeder. Yeah, I think Andrew's on the survive plan.
Oh, also that would just anything you try to reanimate.
Yeah.
Obviously, yeah, of course.
Say bye-bye to your graveyard. I hope you enjoyed it while it was there.
Take your scavenging uses. Take your lion stashes.
Okay, now what are we drawing here? Red at 6. Okay.
If it does anything.
Let's see. If you attack with everything, can you put him down to 1?
I think he takes 2 or whatever. And he can't attack with everything. Uro cannot attack.
But if you attack with everything,
Oh, if
and you
it
get
kills
him to
them.
1, then you can run in 6 their face.
I see. But I don't think so. I think that if you just look at the 4 blocks, that he gets hit with a 2/3 or whatever.
So you can make this Slogurk 2 power stronger. You can make it a 6/6.
Right, well, you activate.
You pop the Misty and the Polluted Delta.
And then you can play them both in your graveyard, actually, right? You could do like 4 or something like that.
Yeah, you can do more than that.
Oh no, but yeah.
Or you can get this Otawara back. And that's pretty good.
Okay.
Say bye-bye to Hogak.
I don't think it does anything though. Like we block the 14/14, the 4/4, and the 3/2. We take
Well, it's also a counter for Slogurk. Slogurk has trample.
Slogger hits trample. Okay. That was what I was missing. That's a big deal.
And so we
That's
got
really interesting then.
we block the Skoos with 1. We block Uro. Uro trample 2? No. Okay.
And if you attack with Earl, this is the last turn of the game.
Yes. And so you block Uro, you do that. Let's say you soak up 3 damage at most, so we got 2. This could be lethal.
Earl so is there something about like do you get an extra land drop if you
You draw
use
a card.
Earl's trigger to put
Yeah.
the fetch land that you pick up with Ren and 6 into play in combat and sack it? Is that an extra damage there? I'm not sure if that doesn't makes a difference when you do that, but
I mean, no, that if you can,
yeah, because then you don't have to use those drops from the graveyard. I
Yeah,
think that represents the most damage.
if you're able to play another fetch, that's just more damage.
You fetch both, put them into play, fetch both,
The Liege
Attack.
Archaeologist is on top, so
Draw a
that's
card. pick it up with Ren, pick it up with Ren, attack, put it into play, stack it. That's like what 5 counters.
Well, we already used Red and 6.
Right. I was just kind of thinking in general.
Oh, yeah. We get 2 land drops, right? Yep. I think this is over.
So basically, we're gonna see 4 damage plus the trample damage. So 7. No, Earl didn't attack.
We're not attacking.
Oh, but if we don't attack with Earl, we can do it again next turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And obviously, scavenging use can go back from coming back.
Yes. Not that I think Andrew will have the resources, but. Oh, this is lethal if nothing happens. Oh, wait, no, they can just make the Slogurk smaller. But I mean, make them do it. Oh, wait, no, it actually counters out because if they give your guy a token, -1/-1 token, they're still going to have to pay a life. And so that doesn't even really do it. And so, yeah, they have to block Slogurk right now. This is why you attack with Arrow. Because it's lethal if they attack with Arrow. That Ren and 6 getting back Otawara was.
Like stacking, Yawgmoth is just neutral on damage and doesn't do anything.
Yep.
They don't have 2. He doesn't have 2 black mana to proliferate or whatever. Oh, but that's interesting. It can represent more than that if you hit Renegade Rallier. Yeah, it doesn't though. It's like 1 extra health. But there's a difference. It didn't have it early. Is the 1 extra health relevant? I think the math you're doing said it was, right?
There were 2 additional land drops though, and I didn't account those in the math.
Okay. Look at that stack.
Yeah, that's a mess up.
I love Slogurk. What a cool card.
You know, they really broke the wheel with Slogurk.
What does the Deep Root Wayfinder do when it hits it? It just returns a land from the graveyard.
It surveils 1, and then
You just say you don't. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
pick a land.
Like,
Right, but the point is, it doesn't require milling yourself. It does not have forced mill. Right. Wait, that's 6 damage.
That's 4 damage.
Wait, +2, right?
Did they block the Wayfinder? I can't tell.
No, they blocked. Oh, maybe they did block the Wayfinder. You're right. If only Will or Ellie could sack their draw lands, you know.
Yeah.
Earl
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 was
was lethal. Will it matter? I'm trying to think what possible draws Andrew could have. Are there cards that would matter, like that you can't just do it in response?
I'm not sure. I think it's one of those things where you should just probably do it to do it.
What if it's? No, I was gonna say Eli has that doesn't matter 6 mana anyway. That doesn't do anything. It's just a 2/4.
Shifting woodland. Didn't respond to a land drop.
But you can still respond to it targeting when you attack, right?
Still targeted.
Oh, sure. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Luckily for Ellie, it did not matter, and we're just
Wow, that was really cool though. What a tight game. That's another one you want to run back. See if there was just some way to gain just a couple more life.
absolutely.
Just something.
I mean, shout out to Andrew for staying alive for as long as he did.
That's really amazing. All right, I'll be right back while this gets finished up. Start the next round.
Cool.
Cool. See what's going on.
We have a special guest coming in.
Yeah.
Help me out with the rest of this game while Kyle's back.
So,
How you feeling? You been watching these games?
yeah. Let's see. The Tom Ellie match was incredible. What a kind of unfortunate end for it, because I really thought the story behind it was good.
Yeah.
I feel like most of the stuff is played out the way we expected, and there we get the final concession. That was
We were right on half of the bracket.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Miles Eli matchup, I do feel like that was probably a little bit die roll dependent, a little bit mulligan dependent. What we can see, I'm very interested to watch Ellie's sideboard for this game. The main question is, I think the head shredder is where you want to be. Yeah.
Ooh,
Tristani.
there we go.
So we talked about that in our video. That Tristani was absolutely one of the strangest cards to see inside. Okay, cutting Baleful though. I guess if you're of the mindset that Yawgmoth is absolutely messing you up, Baleful is. And I do want to issue at least not a retraction, but kind of a concession. The best card in Andrew's deck thus far has been Yawgmoth, and it's not very close.
Yeah.
If your Eldritch Evolution is a second copy of Yawgmoth, we're talking now. I don't think it's worth the card advantage because we have seen Andrew's deck kind of stall on either having creatures to sack or cards just to play.
Yeah.
Where you're just like drawing like excess lands and stuff like that. You have a random prime time in the deck for no reason.
It also requires like a third card.
Yeah, it's a third card to what you're doing for it to actually do something. I think we have seen.
Well, it's actually a fourth card too, because you have the 2-drop you have to sack to the evolution to get the Yawgmoth, so that's 3. And then do you have another fourth card that's good with the Yawgmoth?
Exactly. And I really feel like we're seeing Tevel look quite good.
Tevel's been really good from what we've seen.
I believe there is almost no 4-land hand in Ellie's deck that they can mulligan.
Yeah. You want to know what Tristani is also good against with Andrew? I reanimate your creature, and then I play Tristani, get my creature back.
Absolutely. It's a little sweaty, but I'm here for it. I think I'm gonna tag right back out.
You take this seat because I'm going to do what he just did.
Okay. All right. I'll jump over here now. I like this. I like the situation where I just get to move.
You just spec word where you were.
I just get to move back to where I go.
Alright, so we're watching.
Game 3. Yeah, this is game 2.
My goodness.
Yeah. So we saw Ellie bring in Tristani.
Okay.
We saw Realms Uncharted get cut. No other real changes were made. We were talking about how Tristani is really good against your reanimated opponent, taking your thing, then you get to snipe.
That's the only time it's been relevant. Yeah.
And Andrew bringing the Twitchy Doll, I was on this. I think you just need another creature. It's a good 2-drop to sacrifice. One of the things I was actually very critical of in our kind of like dissecting the decks was that I think that Eldritch Evolution was bad in this deck because truly it can get the Yawgmoth out of the deck, you can put a 1 drop into Grits and not a lot else. Like you're not really putting a 3-drop with this deck. There are very few 3-drops. You're not really going 3-drop into the Harvester of Misery most of the time.
Right.
But the Yawgmoth has been the best card in Andrew's deck by a country mile.
Yeah.
And so if your argument is that Eldritch Revolution is another copy of Yawgmoth, I'm kind of here for
It's
it.
interesting. I didn't think about that because Connor said, even to elaborate on more on why it was quote unquote bad, was that like every card that you would sacrifice, you actually just like the longer it stays around, the better it gets. So why would you sacrifice it? But
my guess is that the post board, the Sidisi was covered Twitchy Doll. This deck is not a good Sidisi deck. The numbers are very different from an average pod deck for it because you cannot sacrifice a 2-drop. Sidisi has to sacrifice a card that is other than its cost. And so you are left in a position where when a deck with a lot of 2-drops they want to sacrifice to go up to 3-drops, you can't really sacrifice. And without a lot of 4-drops to get, because really the only 4 to get is Yawgmoth, you have nowhere really to go with it.
Right.
Your best case scenario is sacrificing a token to get back a 1-drop, but Andrew also doesn't have a ton of impact with 1-drops either. So I imagine CDC was covered for the Twitch Doll. That feels very straightforward. We have Ellie Churn in here. I believe this is a main phase no land drop Crucible with an exploration play. Both those lands are entering the battlefield.
Ellie actually talked about this in their like pre-draft matchup, which was that without exploration, these decks look a lot different.
Yeah.
And yeah, exploration in Crucible Worlds with these many fetch lands remains just maybe one of the most powerful things you can do in the game.
Totally. Now, just in like average play, you have a fetch land and a surveil land. You're playing both this turn. Do you fetch first and then surveil, or do you surveil first then fetch?
Oh, just to see if you can maybe. I mean, it's almost like I think you just do the surveil last, but you know there are ways you can maybe just want to dump some cards.
Yeah, I believe we have no other surveil target for this polluted delta. So my understanding is that this is probably going to get. I don't know if there's a black red or a blue red.
I think Ellie has the red green surveil.
Yeah, that's my understanding. But yeah, obviously you can't get that with polluted delta.
Wow.
I mean, this is quite a board
With 2 mana.
with 2 mana, but
2 lands.
yeah, but it's See, I am inclined just to tap for a color and get another counter on the Twitching Doll personally.
Badlands.
There is a Badlands. But we were talking about
but they don't
surveillance,
they don't get the Badlands. Interesting.
why?
I feel like you'd want to play the Ren in 6 maybe?
Right. I mean, you can start taking. I mean, I guess it doesn't.
You have Crucible, I suppose.
And maybe it. The pinging ability on it actually doesn't do much. It kills a Death Touch snake that comes right back.
Yeah.
But this is like, we talk about these painful mana base. When you're under pressure, pretty 11 or 12.
But Ellie also has 25,
Oh, of course, you can just
24.
get it at any point in time.
Yeah,
Right.
24 cards in deck. Eventually that Wrath of God's going to out, but we notably don't have the second white yet. My guess is this is Renegade Rallier for Delta. Yeah, okay.
Wow. No fear.
No fear. Why have fear?
Well, you get your life back when you find your Uro.
No, you get your life back when you have your scavengers, but if you don't put...
You can play Gifts Ungiven for a guaranteed Uro.
Yeah, that's true.
So, there's one card in the graveyard? Yeah, actually. They haven't actually done a lot. They're just playing the same lands.
No, yeah. I mean, we're getting... Of a 17-land deck, we are getting a lot of lands out. Obviously, we have two sitting over here, plus 7. So we're at 12 of 16 lands. I like this proactiveness from Andrew. Just push. We're pushing. Now, does this beat an Uro? Probably not.
Well, it might not. Just like this life
The
total
bird-
is real
this
low.
light tells what- and this bird be burden. I
think you got a counter on it.
You can get a counter or make a spirit.
Right. Like a grounded spirit, though.
No, I think it flies. Let's find out. I imagine if it flies, there's a token entering the battlefield for sure.
Right, but if not, I think it would like the counter.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so it is a counter. So it must be grounded.
Yeah.
The spirit is grounded from Eli. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think actually that gain 3 life while you want to attack you for 3 in the air
Yeah.
every time. That's just we put it in for the token generation, but also again, it's amazing how much getting attacked for 3 in the air is going to kill you.
Absolutely. Synchro Sphere really does complete the cycle there, and I really think that just because this has to be, there probably is a 2-card gifts
Uro, white land, white land.
Well, what if you get Snapcaster so you can play gifts again?
Snapcaster did come in.
Snapcaster, Wrath of God, Uro, Tristani.
That's probably not good enough.
I don't think you can pick red.
Don't think you could pick Wrath.
But
I like
if they
Savine's
put Snapcaster and Wrath into your graveyard.
They would also need to put in Sabine's Reclamation.
and Savine's Reclamation is here.
But the point is, if they do that, you still end up with Uro and another card of your
I
choice.
don't think that's enough.
It might not be. That's why I didn't want with
That's why we're-
Tristani.
that's
You
why
go
we're
Uro Tristani. I think there's mana for that. I'm not sure. And that does seem very strong.
It is important to note, Eli in the chat of the stream. Good matches. You played hard.
But yeah, that was a quick
That was brutal. I
opponent.
mean, Savine's Reclamation, Slogger, Uro, and Quagface. I don't like that pile. Not a huge fan of that
I
pile.
would replace Blowberg with Snap.
Yeah, Slogger with Snap, exactly.
Alright, so this is what's done. So what does Andrew pick?
I imagine Slogger goes to or Uro goes to the hand because I don't think 3 life itself is great against this board. Quagbeast and Savine's Reclamation go to the hand. I'm not certain of that. I just don't think that one Uro plus a Delve is going to be enough against his board. I'm inclined to just, well, I suppose. I mean,
I guess in a weird way, Sabine and Uro, like where they go, they end up being kind of exactly the same thing.
sure,
Um,
it's a good gift pile then maybe. I don't like putting the Slogurk in. I think there was no way that wasn't going to the graveyard because not a lot can be done with it, and even if something is done with it, it's only on blocking duty. We're losing to the single surveyor for sure.
so yeah, if you got Wrath, Snap, Savine's,
And Uro,
Or Crag Feast.
and Quag Feast, I think you're guaranteed to do a lot.
yeah, I agree. Gifts is a hard magic card.
Yes.
Gifts is a hard magic card.
And then we watched Sam Black use it and make a fool of our.
Yeah,
design.
I mean, well, that is
It was always gift
that's true.
4 realms. Just like I'm getting 7 cards.
I draw cards.
It was basically like two demonic tutors every time. It was so cool.
So Quag kills the bird.
I remember Lewis saying that.
Huh?
Lewis?
Kaplan?
Sogata?
Oh, Louis.
Yeah.
Louis Sogano.
Yeah, he was saying like, yeah, it was annoying playing against him because he played gifts and it's just a bunch of demonic tutors when Sam plays it.
That was a great. That was a great draft. There is a VOD of CubeCon 2024 where we see the
Put down Gigi's live YouTube channel.
GG's Live's YouTube channel where we see the late and great Jay Bro, Caleb Dover, Sam Black, Luis Salvato all draft the Chicago Cube, and it really was a very interesting draft to watch. Strong drafters for sure.
You learn a lot when you watch people like that draft your cube.
Absolutely.
But also, you don't necessarily change your design philosophy because of what they're doing.
No, absolutely. If we built every cube around what Sam Black does, we wouldn't have a lot of cubes.
That's why I just played Sam Black's cube, that.
Yeah,
that's
the
like
Sultai
Fest
one,
was
yeah.
a blast. Actually, a bunch of these cards are in here because of what I learned by drafting
Sure,
cubes. So.
absolutely. So we have Sabine's Reclamation. The Pluto was a sacrifice. I don't believe we have a permanent interest in graveyard. So getting the Renegade Rallier to get back something is not great. I imagine Slogurk, yeah. But Slogurk is just on blocking duty, and it's
That's an arrow, right?
No, that's Slogurk.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe this is Andrew's game. I believe 2 lands and a dream worked.
And Scoos might be able to stabilize.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't think Ellie has won a game without Scavengers.
And Ellie does have to eat their own cards to gain life.
No, Harvester Instinct.
Oh, so there are 2. Okay.
Yeah, there are
Two.
2, yeah.
I just think the 1/1 Death Touch is still a clock. Also, I think what we're now definitely going to see is this Twitching Dog start putting counters in itself. Or at least I hope so.
I think we're a little late to the party on that. I feel like unless we have a way to deal with the Scavengers, like, the fact of the matter is that a 1-mana lethal scheme is brutal here. Which we know is an Andrew's deck and definitely still post-board.
And actually, the Horizon being I guess there's so much life. No, you don't pay the life to gain the life to draw cards.
No, you don't.
Yeah, so there's a pretty serious draw engine with Horizon.
Exploration, Crucible.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly,
absolutely.
Exactly. Hey, look at that.
This feels like,
What is this going to unlock?
I mean, we need a lethal scheme.
This is game
2.
Oh, yeah, this is game 2. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
game
game
2.
2.
We were paying attention. Yeah, the first game, if you missed it,
Alright.
Ellie won with 1 card in their library.
So now we have the play of if Ellie activates in the end phase, I believe Yogg kills it. I don't think there's another green land to get.
And Yogg also represents, you can sack the Twitching Doll, and then sack it with, it's a hanger back walker or whatever. It's a lot of activations.
So what are we doing here? Oh, we're putting counters on. We're just going for the Slowkirk? Oh, I don't know about that. You can't kill the Scavenge Ooze now.
I guess you still can, right?
No, you don't.
Doesn't the doll make 2 tokens, so there's 3?
But it's when it activates. Now we just get to
Oh,
attack.
sorry, maybe I misunderstood what the doll does. Doesn't the doll say when it dies it makes it?
No, it's when you can activate it as a sorcery to sacrifice it and put spiders into play. 2/2 reach spiders.
I thought it was when it died.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
I understand,
absolutely.
I understand. Okay.
I think stopping Ellie from activating that turn is a huge boon, and just leaving the snake on the field to get that just to stop the activation is pretty big.
You do. Oh wow! I mean, Gitrog's representing a lot of cards, but I mean, Andrew does still have the opportunity to do that again, just not as efficiently.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
but there's no cards left.
there's a bunch of creatures. I mean, there's. No, I mean, yeah, we are going to play the finals out. It's important. So we'll find out. Hopefully we get it squared away.
So Will versus the winner of this game.
Correct. Yeah, Will versus the winner of this game.
This is going to represent a lot of cards, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. The double duty you get from the additional land drops, as well as you get to grow the Slowgurk and draw the cards from the Gidrod monster, is going to be quite powerful.
I wonder if we were to ask Ellie what they would do differently, if anything, if they would love a way to end the game a little bit quicker.
Find a way to add a second scavenging.
I mean, that would be great. I mean, like WoW, Hogak, WoW, but I don't think they had an opportunity for that. Honestly, I guess I'm surprised. I want to know how Andrew got through the Lighthouse last game. There were so many tokens in play. That seemed like an excellent.
At that time, I believe there were 2 regular zombies and 4 Tumult.
It must have been Harvester Misery, right?
Only
It
thing.
must have been.
Yeah,
Right?
only thing, really.
With all these triggers,
Oh, love us some triggers.
some frogs, I kind of wish Slowgurk was a frog, to be honest.
I wish all cards were frogs.
Would Magic
You
be better if all
could
creatures were
you could
frogs?
argue that all the creature types are superfluous except for frog.
Could be.
Do you remember when we had Froghemoth in the cube?
Yes.
Froghemoth, the hasty 4/4 that got huge card.
Yes.
Magic is a better time when Froghemoth is good. I'll Sam Ives 2028. So this pings down nothing.
Yeah.
Is it?
It kills the death touch token.
Is this
Well,
worse
it's
than
fine.
just flashing back Savine's Reclamation for Renegade Rallier Uro?
No, because it gets it.
Yeah, but isn't 4 to discard? Well, it's actually not 4. It's way less because we control legendary permanents. All these new pitch lands, the channel lands, all get a cost decrease if you have permanents to play.
All the cube cards are legendary.
Yeah, and every cube card in the world is legendary. now.
Don't play Crocus in your cubes.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Can you imagine?
Kyle Fouché 2020.
Can you imagine Crocus in?
No, I can't. I actually can't because I refuse to live in a world.
We'd have to put Wasteland in or something. Yeah.
And Crabomination, another good frog for sure.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Ugh. That card was sick nasty.
Crabomination was fun. We should have it.
It's fun. It just won every game it was played in.
Yeah.
Actually, I believe. Maybe I'm but I even want to
Sam
say that
2028
Black
winning
cut it
game
after
is
that event. Like actually that was
Yeah, right.
in the one that we played, yeah.
Sam Ives 2028 winning games of Magic is fun. What is this?
If you have a friend named Sam,
Yeah.
trust their magic. Yeah.
On that,
They have a lethal scheme.
yeah, it had to be the lethal scheme. We're a turn late, but I mean, this is still quite good.
Actually, don't trust Sam's who put Universe Beyond cards in the cube.
Brutal.
It's the only one.
Well, and you know what? I did. Oh no, it's actually so. Very funny said in the commander decks released for this newest set.
Oh, okay.
They put lethal scheme in there with correct art in
Cool.
the newest commander deck.
Yeah,
so
that-
previously it was only available through the Warhammer 40k set
Okay.
or whatever. I think it's Fallout actually.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And in the newest one, they're like, "Hey, sorry about that. We're giving you your card." And I've been clamoring for this card to be online for well over a year. And they're like, "Well, what about right now? After you purchase a commander deck for $40 with bad art."
Gotta purchase another one.
Got it. You'll never believe what I'm going to do after this stream.
There's another one. If you've never played Lethal Scheme, I don't think it matters what cube you're in. You should play Lethal Scheme.
Yeah.
That card is crazy.
I mean, this feels like we're just going to Otawara and be real happy. What it feels like.
How much does Ottawa cost right now?
I believe it's 5 normally with, is it 2
Or normally?
It's 4 normally. So with 3 legendary permanents, it costs 1 blue currently. Or I don't know if it counts planeswalkers. I assume it does. They are legendary. And that's a 6/6 death touch.
Yeah.
Well, no, I believe it costs 1 blue. I believe it costs a blue for. It's either a blue and 1 or.
Nope, 2.
Okay, so it is. So it is just legendary creatures you control. That's a land put to the graveyard trigger.
Triggers.
Triggers.
Yeah. Good cube design.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at that.
So
If it says land, put land.
someone really smart in the chat put earlier that this was a fun cube. I'm inclined to agree. Inclined to agree with them. Really?
And we can pick it up with.
Yeah. With. Well,
We already that's how we got.
I mean, you can play from the graveyard and sack it to your Gitrog to if you need to do stuff like that. You can pick it up with your Ren 6. You can
You
Titan it.
kind of a bounce every turn, right?
Yeah, I mean, like we're in the great words of Nietzsche, we're cheese wheeling.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
I
said
haven't
that.
read that one yet.
Nah, and you won't. Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean,
So why do we let's play that Tartania first?
probably.
Oh, is that? Are we trying to target that with
Well,
Tartania? Is that what happened?
this is in the upkeep, so you have to sack a land in the upkeep
of course,
for the
of course.
Gitrog monster.
I thought we were just sacking the fetch.
No, oh my gosh, yeah. This is
Wow.
this is pretty absurd.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones where you go, well,
So close.
so close.
Wait. Does Andrew have Collected Brutality
Yes,
in the deck right now?
we don't know.
And can they deal 2 damage?
Uh,
Can Ellie accidentally pay 2 life off of these special lands? And I don't know. That's I think that Tristani will put a.
so
an end to that.
unless Ellie was watching Andrew's match against Vivian, Ellie wouldn't have seen the collective brutality.
I also don't know if there's a lot of reason to bring it in this list, or maybe even reason to take it out in this list.
Well, this is going to be one of those times where we discard an Otawara, our Slogar gets bigger, and then we also have a fetch land and a horizon land to make it bigger, so you can't even necessarily clear it with Yawgmoth. And we're taking 5 from the Gitrog monster and drawing 2 cards. I do think I would have had Titania in play for all this, but
It is what it is. I mean,
how much more win more do you need to be at some point?
and then he says that they had a lot of games. A lot
Yeah,
of good games. We didn't get to see them, but
Yeah, we have-
It's actually just lethal, isn't it? Because that has trample. Yeah.
well, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. Wow. All right. So
Time for the finals.
It is
now we're gonna do this.
It is time for the finals. This is where I rotate right out.
So we have Will and Ellie,
Will and Ellie,
rank 1 and 2 in the list. In the queue.
Rank 1 and 2 in the queue.
Yep. Wow. Very exciting.
That was a good game.
Yeah. I said if only Ellie had a way to end the game quicker, and then I was wrong about that. That was. I don't think Andrew maybe was ready to die that bad. That's
Anthony beat Vivian.
Anthony beat Vivian. See that?
probably put a triplicate titan into play.
What was the mine?
I think we can all agree that black white tokens is no longer the bad guy. You know?
It's Uro.
Yeah,
It's actually not Uro. Uro's done very little actually. I think it's been a threat. Apparently, it's Slogar. No, what it is Crucible and Exploration. That is just. You want to just jump in there real quick?
No, change the names.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's figure out where they are in the game first, then I'll do it.
Well, oh,
Try to be consistent. This out.
no, we can just stay in there. It's only the one.
Oh,
table.
it's the same. Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just getting our players situated at their tables, and then we're gonna watch the finals. Thanks, Andy.
Yes.
Watch this. Many customs. Where's the thumbs down? All right. I don't know which of them will be streaming.
my goat is Ellie, but we'll
The icon is
This is the Millennium Puzzle from Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh had to construct it himself.
It's also an unknown in the triangle. Wow, Andy Hansen.
The Millennium Puzzle holds the spirit of the Pharaoh Atem. And I just gave you a spoiler. If you've never watched Yu-Gi-Oh.
More like the Illenium puzzle,
Yeah.
right?
The spoiler I gave you was the name of the Pharaoh. What did Andrew? Just say not sure. Give us a sec. I mean, we can probably just get the back card. Probably not.
As long as he has time, you know.
It's also my account, so it's actually you can just leave the cards there.
Oh, it's in your.
It's my account. Yeah. Can you post on the thing saying that we're gonna do trade backs later?
Is it? Oh,
This is it. I guess just accept it. It'll be quick.
Okay, we're just getting set up. We'll have this
Yeah.
done real quick. I don't actually know how to do this though. I just get
I-
there's cards show up and I say accept.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel like Eli is putting in the deck list for this. Okay, it looks like that's not happening. Just cancel the trade.
Well, I'll leave it for now. Okay,
Okay,
we're live.
Yeah, let's watch this.
All right, we're going in. Here's the finals.
Yep, pop it up.
10 weeks, I guess, at this point in the making. So we have Will on our side.
If we can do exchanges tomorrow, some of them have to leave. Just put in their name. We can get my cards back from Andrew later because it's my account. Okay, so we got a turn 2 piggy bank happening. It's going to do a bunch of damage.
9 damage. Gonna do 9 damage.
Oh, the See the thing at the bottom.
I just closed it. Wait,
No, that's fine. Just
Oh, this-
why is that happening?
I-
Sorry. Okay, here, it's over here. I found it.
Okay, cool.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got a turn through Crucible up against this piggy bank. That's not what I want to see if I'm the Crucible player. Like, just playing turn 3 Crucible into this piggy bank does not
Right.
feel
The,
good.
the one or couple life from the scavenger user turn is not going to be the thing we're looking for here.
Yeah.
Especially when we followed up with Zergo.
Zergo or Stride Hanger Automaton, either one's going to be pretty devastating. I do think Ellie winning the die roll is going to be important. I don't know if it's going to be important enough.
Wow. Well, this deck is just like we said this over and over again, just terrifying.
Eli, we're not doing the exchanges right now because we need to focus on the matches. If Andrew's going to bed, that's my account. We're gonna get those cards back later. PM Sam directly about exchanging the cards, please.
So this is getting another fetch, but like kind of doesn't really.
Yeah, it doesn't really.
I guess it's an extra mana. It is in this case it is a ramp because there's no exploration. Or anything.
I mean,
So, yeah.
Ellie does need a
Also
second
one less
white source. Also one less life. Doesn't get the white
Well,
source.
obviously needs this. It was a Ren 6. Oh,
The Quack Feast. Okay, Quack Feast is good here. There's the Wrath of God, though.
Snapcaster Mage.
It's a sideboard card.
Okay. Wow. Hey, well, at the very least, Piggy Bank only did 6 damage.
There's still time. Yes, play the Stride Hanger first.
Right, so when the Piggy Bank dies, makes a
Makes a
treasure.
Thopter.
We'll also make a Thopter. Make a 2/2 Thopter. Well, you know what I'm saying. Don't get technical on me.
And the next turn, we can play Hangerback Walker. That's going to be pretty big. This Den of the Bugbear is looking just better as time goes on.
Notably, Magda will make a 2/2 Thopter when it attacks by itself.
Yep.
Wow. And this card is...
We can also just play this Magda right now.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, this is... Treasure tokens are strong.
So this Stride
Free
Hanger,
Moxie, you know?
this Stride Hanger Automaton card might be too
It
good.
was second pick, right?
Yes.
And literally their second card. The first pick was
Legion Extruder.
Legion Extruder, which you haven't seen in play. I mean, we only saw one match, but and then this. It's so funny how many cards these days read like draft chaff, but are actually busted magic
It's
cards.
pure power.
Yeah.
We got more fetching happening. This Wrath of God is gone. What does Ellie have that can do some crowd control? Yeah, Reddit 6 and Baleful Strix. Adawara can do some stuff.
Running 6, I don't think would do much here, right? Because Magda.
It does something.
And you need to put something. Okay, there's a Reddit 6.
Well-
Magda, that's one less treasure, one less Thopter. That's good.
Welter and Sons can come in from the board.
That seems like
Ugh.
I like mainboarding Sweltering 6 personally. You can always cycle it, especially when it's for mana, and you can win games like this. You know that you're going to get this deck to win the tournament.
I think Ellie was a little worried about the double red, but just like
That's
you
fair.
said,
That's fair.
you can cycle it if that's the problem.
Yeah.
Are we going after this Renin 6 with 1? Yeah, the Thopter's going after Renin 6. Feel like we got a Gibson given happening right now. Ooh, a repeal.
Ooh, very nice. That's big game.
A repeal is really good.
Does when the automaton that says when you make one or more tokens,
Yes.
it's not going to just make an infinite amount of tokens when Hangerback Walker dies. Yeah, okay, good.
It won't make them all 2/2, so.
Right. I mean, it is a lord for the Hangerback Walker.
And I hope we play this den instead of the theater. Okay, great.
This represents a lot of damage next turn.
Yes.
Wow. But a lot of cards on the other side.
I mean, this is what we said about Will's deck. You know, if he could go and just start putting his foot on the throat quickly, then these games were going to be tough for whoever he was going up against.
4, 5. Oh,
There's
okay.
Gitrog. Taval would be better.
Pick up the catacombs, put it down, fetch, get some cards. Oh, you didn't pick it up. I said just play from graveyard, obviously.
Cube.
It's a sweet
So we
cube.
just pick up. Oh, we just pick it up again.
Yeah, I think we're just trying to draw a card.
I always forget that Gitrog also allows 2 plays per turn. So I guess I'm asking about the run in 6 activation. Do we grab this commercial district, or do we just keep going with the fetch lands?
I think we probably keep going with fetches, but like I don't love that.
You like Sylvan Library in this matchup? Would you keep it in? It's funny because it finds their answers, but it also does nothing. Pays life to get some value. Do you like the like?
I think it'll get left in because I think there are more important cards to take out.
Especially if you're gonna play these many colors.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you can find that stuff. Yeah.
Is this ready?
Oh my goodness.
Is this the ready good? Yes, it is.
Always good. That was 3rd pick, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
So you can
Oh, we can just
put a counter on this hanger back blocker.
Zach is ready to kill the Gitrog, and then the game is over. Right?
Armix is a great thing to. Oh, put it in the graveyard. Interesting. How
There
confident?
aren't going to be any creatures. Though I do like it if you play it down because then it removes their ability to block next turn. But also maybe you don't care because you're going to get a bunch of flyers.
I mean, probably. I would just keep anything on top that's a castable card. Honestly.
There is a little bit of insurance there because they can always just activate the den.
That's true.
You know, if they need to. Oh my goodness.
Look at all my Thopters.
And then, I mean, going forward, we're just going to be making a 1/1 and a 2/2, right? I mean,
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, this is lethal as a stance.
I'm not sure you're supposed to pass. We were surprised to go that early, and now we understand.
Yeah.
why this card might be taken that early.
Insane.
Has it been played elsewhere? There was a lot of the players were really excited about it, more than we were even. Is there like has it been shining in another format?
I just think it's been played in Cube.
We just saw it in some queues. We saw it show up in week to
Yeah.
week, and then they understood it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if Eli takes Stride Hanger over card and pick 4, I think things get really interesting in how that draft plays out.
The tokens made with Bernard, the cards made with Bernard are artifact tokens.
Right.
That triggers that.
Yeah, Bernard. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. Oh, maybe they have a removal spell for the.
Titania, have we played? We're gonna have some lands.
This is really fascinating. It's not lethal in the air. It's -1 lethal in the air. Oh, but you can't fetch. You can't turn on Titania because Titania will represent lethal next turn.
Yep.
But you simply can't do that.
Armix is an artifact to sack.
Wow. We do, Ellie, if they survive, we'll get a chance to look at 3 cards or 4 cards off the library. You know, I don't know what they're looking for. That's most of their remaining library. They're probably all not lands.
I mean, their best answers are in the
board.
graveyard.
Yeah.
And then the board.
I do think that this match can be much different after in game 2.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Will brings in this matchup. Curious to know if Will decides to go bigger or decides to just steer and do the aggression a lot more. Do those tokens get haste? I believe they do.
That's rude.
I also think Den of the Bugbear is better. But is it artifact tokens for Shrine Hanger? Or is it tokens?
I believe it cares about artifacts. No? Right Hanger doesn't. I think it just cares about tokens being made?
No, it's already.
Yeah, yeah.
Bugbear mix.
Right.
My business is just.
I mean, I believe this is just lethal.
Is it? How is it leave? Isn't
Yeah.
it 8 in the air?
Well, it's in the air, but
Oh,
the
plus the bet.
Yeah.
The den of the bugbear. It's nice when they're tapped out and they're lethal. You just gotta, make sure you count right. And... Yep, here come a bunch of stuff. And oh, there we go. That should be lethal. Siblings aren't going to troop to each other, maybe, but
Okay, so
all right.
we got game 1 in the books for Will. Let's see what Will decides to bring in. Let's see. We see Armex is gone. I think that makes a ton of sense. Alibu's in. Lethal Demolition in. I can see bringing a Murderous Cut. I don't think that's super important. Cutting the land to 16, I like that. I mean, we could definitely take out this engineer for something, whether it's Murderous Cut, whether it's Dig Site, maybe even Gadrick. I actually kind of like
Do we
Gadrick.
like Spellskite? I think that the answers are more generalized. Maybe the Spellskite isn't as important, but
I don't
I
dislike
love
Spellskite.
against.
In an open deck list, when you know that the only target removal spell is Quack Feast and it's going to be safe for a card like Zergo, just throwing a spell scout out there is like gangbusters.
Or it's a dead card, they don't draw it. I'm trying to figure out if there anything else that.
Oh, I would have kept that one lander. Oh, that's not good. So we get rid of this Alibu.
Gonna keep this for sure.
We get rid of this Goblin Engineer. Probably just hope we draw land. Maybe get rid of like
I think we get rid of the Braves Apprentice because the Goblin Engineer can sacrifice the experimental
I
synthesizer.
don't think we get rid of the synthesizer, and that's what we got rid
That
of.
was the one I didn't want to get rid of for sure.
That's the one that I wanted to keep more than anything else.
But we will see.
You keep engineer. How are you not keeping synthesizer?
2-drop.
No white mana.
No white mana, that's true.
Wow, just prevalent.
Yeah, we got some slow starts there.
I feel. I was gonna say. I think if I'm Will, I'm really happy not to see an exploration. I think that's one of the easiest ways to just lose control of the game.
There were a few different directions, Andy, that Will's deck could go. Gadrick definitely one of those options that I think Will could have played for sure.
Makes a treasure every turn. Makes a thought every turn. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. Gadrick and Vantress Gargoyle are two of these really funky looking cards.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just kind of there's just like a lot going on, and they don't look at it, and I think they're hard to analyze at their face value, and we see them sitting in sideboards a lot. I love both those cards. Attacking for 5 with the 3 mana is great. Oh, there it is.
There's the exploration. Now, do we see anything from Ellie this turn?
Was this a handful of lands without an exploration that was found? That's pretty nice.
I feel like we have a Realms Uncharted in Ellie's hand. I wouldn't have kept it, so I'm a little
That's really
skeptical.
good. That's very good.
That's really good.
It was going to represent a lot of cards. We can assume they don't have Crucible because we think we would have played it.
Sam's one of the few appreciators of Gadget, so it wouldn't surprise me that in your 1v1s with Sam, Gadget would be one of the better cards. It definitely reads like it's unplayable, and then you play it and you're like, oh, this card's actually pretty good. Same thing with Vantress Gargoyle, like Kyle said. Just one of
The worst
those.
part about Vantress Gargoyle is that you win because your opponent doesn't understand the card. Not like actually the best argument for moving from the cube is that it's kind of awkward, but I think it enables some really interesting decks. I like the blue-red, just like I want both those cards and the unblockable artifact, Surge Engine, a little one drop,
Yep, Combat Courier.
Combat Courier. Yeah, I love that stuff. Maybe a Magna and a Springleaf Drum. Yeah.
Okay, what does Ellie have to combat any of
Like
this?
Hitron monster. Oh,
A Tristani Discordant.
that's gonna be very good here.
So this is why Tristani is good, because now the board is just gummed.
And we know we know that there are answers in Will's deck.
Yes.
1/4. Pretty brutal.
The Zergo is good if you had a white source.
Are we playing the Bray's Apprentice now? Just kind of search for some stuff.
I think you have to use that apprentice to next turn sack it if you don't draw a white source. And just try to find something.
That's why we can't even play these other cards. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
An engineer.
I think it's still correct, but
Engineer doesn't get any value right now. Just
I think that synthesizer would have been really good.
Synthesizer instead of a Mean Book Hall, I think is defensible too. I just think that was the one card you had to keep.
I'm already forgetting. So the engineer came in. What did it get?
It put the Astronaut's Harvester in the graveyard.
And then I was also confused how that had haste. So now I'm all caught up.
Well, the Chainsaw's a good draw.
What?
I would be attacking and trying to kill the Tristani. This is not the best chainsaw, but it also, you can just now kill one of these random tokens, put it on your Thopter, and start going in the air. Vivian is at, I mean, not Vivian. Ellie is at 13.
That's what I thought too. You remove one of their lifelinking creatures. Yeah, the 1/4 is still there, but there's also an option to start looping this thing. Stack it with Bray's Apprentice. Actually, you can do that right now, right? You can sack it to Bray's. I think they could have killed Tristani. Sack it to Bray's Apprentice.
Yep,
And then exchanged it. I mean, you lose your Thopter. I don't know if that's better, but it was a way to remove the Tristani.
I mean, you kill the Tristani. Maybe if you kill the tokens, you don't care about Tristani?
Is it just Tristani grant the lifelink? No, the creatures have life. Yeah, because we got too many tokens. That's right. I know I have those tokens.
And here's the white source off of the Bray's Apprentice.
But land was played?
No,
No?
they can
Okay.
still play it. I think they're just deciding what to do now that they have the white
So
source.
they are doing that. They are doing that. What we talked about. Just gonna kill the lifelink creatures though.
Gotta get your damage in first.
It's very important. They're very likely that that one damage will matter in this game.
And I think we'll see the Goblin Engineer do its thing now. After this Gifts and Given, I'm going to assume.
Unless Gifts and Given reveals, is there any reason to do it now? You can just do this at any point, right?
That's true, yeah. I guess you just wait.
Maybe you don't want to kill a 2/2 lifelink. You want to kill Slogger, like have an opportunity or something like that. Does 3 damage?
It does 3 damage.
Yeah.
The question is what do we see off of this gift?
Snapcaster Mage, Wrath of God.
Quack Feast. Crucible Scoos, Savines, and Renegade.
Okay. So there's a reason to do it now.
I feel like Wrath of God's an Ellie.
But
This feels like a really good post Wrath of God set. So we sent Savines and Renegade to the graveyard.
To be fair, maybe Wrath of God isn't exactly what we need here, right? Like I know that the chainsaw is good, but these are some like right now the board isn't very scary,
Sure.
and we can. Like, I'm sure Ellie can develop a board way scarier fast, like very quick. So we gave them Renegade Rallier and Crucible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crucible and Scavengers.
Oh right.
Scavengers and die.
That's
That's a good point.
It's another
Yeah, yeah,
two
yeah.
sub game.
So I said it was a good reason to do it now, but actually now you've proven a reason to wait.
We cut Squeeze, we had to cut Sash.
It's possible to be clear. They're
Yeah.
they're very strong. We do need to make sure to replace them with graveyard interaction though.
You want to tap them in?
Okay, so we're gonna see it now.
No, it's okay. All they have to do is draw more artifacts and they can just keep going.
Get the chainsaw. Oh. Actually.
Wow. This is a nice like a little removal thing, but it is notably not making the like scary artifact equipment.
No, but I think we can start if with the Zergo played and Amin Bakal as well. I think we can start seeing that token stuff happen pretty soon. If we see a basic planes off the top for Will,
Oh, they can play both.
they can play both.
Yeah, that's
Just a white horse one-time dealer.
actually you can even back with Brea to look for it. You know, you
Yep.
got a couple shots at it. The Uro is going to represent a problem. I mean, I think it comes in next turn, right? Like for real. And because there's not a lot of counters on the chainsaw, there's not exactly a lot of pressure on the. Ooh, that's an artifact. It's cost a lot of
The
mana.
good artifact to sack. I mean, I think we play this Amin Bakal. And then we just hold up chainsaw shenanigans.
You can equip chainsaw, attack, and then sack it. Oh, no, because it's not gonna make the engineer enough to get through. Do you think we'll see the Hangerback Walker here? Oh, but maybe just an equip.
I think we'll see an attack with Brea's Apprentice. And we're gonna attack with the Goblin Engineer.
Oh, of course, yeah, of course, yeah.
And
So
we need to hold up chainsaw. But we need to hold up the chainsaw stuff.
the idea is they're gonna get in a Pakal token and get in for 1 damage. I mean, I don't know if that was the ideal play, but that seems to be what's going on. And to be clear, that is also an artifact. If they block, chainsaw gets big. I think they're on the I'm gonna kill you with chainsaw play now.
I think so.
Yeah. So Braid's Apprentice had 2 abilities, right? One is exile, hard to play it.
Target creature +2/+0.
Right, okay. The less relevant one.
The Marionette Apprentice.
That's so good here. Whew.
I think we'll be playing that this turn.
Notably, though, we've seen what Ellie can do when they can untap.
That's true.
You know, there's a lot of cards, a lot of mana. I think it's going to be an Uro, but there are a lot of other options. I mean, actually, at this point in time, Wrath of God looks real good.
Yeah, now we need the Wrath.
And maybe them not getting it means they have it. So Wrath of God does how much damage to them?
5, 4. Whenever another creature.
4.
Fact, yeah, so 4.
And then the chainsaw, yeah. Just the rabbit battery is in Tom's deck. Is the clockwork was in Tom's deck?
Yeah, they're both the
No,
top.
okay.
No, Clockwork is on this deck.
And that's just like lethal off of Wrath of God.
Yeah, Clockwork is in this deck. I mean,
That's right.
I still think you got a Wrath.
There it is. Actually, can we? How much does it cost to activate Den? 4 mana, yeah, so that's not gonna happen.
Also, it's whenever one or more creatures die.
Oh, okay. That's good.
It's a balanced card.
Yeah. I'm glad they did that.
That being said, Ellie's down to 8. Not a good life total with a Den of the Bugbear on the other side too. That is a 2-turn clock.
And like also, these 2 cards in hand are just gonna represent Chainsaw Lethal like for a lot of turns. Oh,
Here's the Scoos.
Scavenging Ooze.
So that's the Engineer, the Apprentice, Amoeba Call, and the other Apprentice. So that's 4. So Ellie goes to 12. And has a 6/6. And then next turn, Uro's online.
That's right. Scavenging. I think I said that was my number 1. I'm gonna be last in the draft. I'm gonna take Scavenging Ooze and last. oh, that's over here.
What do you think they should kill? Just to keep making Chainsaw bigger?
And to put Craven Shield.
Yeah, and then you play Hangback Walker for maybe even for 2 just to get it going or already.
Yeah.
Blow it up this turn, and then next turn attack them for 5. Like I know they have some life gain, but you know it's actually more than 5. You have the other flyers and the other creatures as well.
No, yeah, I think what you two are saying is correct.
They don't have. I think Ellie will be able to operate just fine.
Without that Crucible.
Yeah, correct. You know, obviously it looks good if the Gishal comes down or whatever, but with 3 cards in hand and infinite mana, maybe don't attack their mana. Try to win the game.
Exactly. I mean, let's see. Does Ellie have a follow-up? Necro Bloom. More life gain. And I don't know, how do you feel about the aggro deck?
1, 2. Is it just? Yeah. Okay. So it's just already. It's a Field of the Dead, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the aggro deck when your opponent plays a 2/7 that makes 2/2s?
I wish I had blown up my Hangerback Walker to make some doctors. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this game is. Oh, I guess you can block now. You know, get the same effect.
You can block. Let's see, does Will have any sweepers?
Did not block. I guess blowing up the Crucible does kind of make the like that was gonna make a lot of 2/2s, huh?
That was going to make a lot of
It
2/2s.
kind of smart there, but
Will does not have any
the
sweepers.
Dean's Reclamation, what on the
Is there a Slowgurk in the
is
graveyard?
it just Uro and Slowgurk?
There's Renegade Rallier, Slowgurk.
Can Renegade Rally return Uro? I forget what it targets.
It can. It won't stay on the board, but it can.
Right, but at this thing, like
Yeah.
3 life here might literally be all the difference. Look at this power on the board.
It's important to remember that Will, as competitive as era in this game, was on the draw on a mulligan 5.
That's true. That is true.
That's actually how close we are on the mulligan to 5.
This game is a wrap. I do agree with you, Andy. That being said, Maul to 5 on the draw, like
Scary deck. I don't know how many times I've said that tonight. It's just scary. Oh, does it change anything? Probably not.
I don't think so.
So do you play it, you shoot something, you put a counter on the hanger back, you stack it?
We're fighting. So if they can they win if they no. So they're gonna probably kill a token, right? Just to get another counter on Hangerback Walker. Maybe go face.
Targets.
I still want to know, like, I still feel like that represents lethal so quickly with these fires.
Yes. No, Will needed to focus on the flyers more than anything else. This is a way to get through damage.
Notably, this can attack through the Necrobloom now. So the 2/2 zombies don't care, I think. Does Will have a way to grant trample? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Where's the Lockstone Warhammer?
No, it's in the Popper Cube.
Yeah, it's in Vivian's cube.
Yeah.
I take it every time I see it. And then people are like, that card's still good. Yeah. It's crazy. They also pass I forget the card's name. 4 mana, paying 1 mana, tap a thing.
If you are enjoying what you're seeing, CubeCon coming up. We're hoping we're going to be there. Have we submitted yet?
No, I realize it's I can submit tomorrow,
Yeah.
obviously.
There you go. Wrap it up.
That doesn't do it. I don't. Well, you can set. Oh, so they didn't leave the sack mana up.
We were worried.
Yeah.
We were worried that Ellie didn't have enough way to win the game. Turns out Adawara just does that.
Adawar has been an all-star.
Yeah, Adawara just wins. That's what it does.
Anthony, if you're listening, this is why you should play, whatever it's called, the Spellbomb. What the heck?
Aether.
Aether Spellbomb. It's got its uses, and you can rebuy it.
So we're taking out Strangle. What are we bringing in?
That makes a lot of sense.
For Murderous Cut? Just
That makes
cleaner
a lot of
removal? I'm okay with that.
We just played Random Master.
I think there's an argument for it.
I think so, right?
I want
That's how you win that game.
I want to play this
Well, I
big set.
still think you win that game by making thought pierce, but also attack them for 5 with Gadget. Do it.
Yeah, Gadget flies. Okay. How does Will draw on the?
I mean, this is
Oh.
9 damage.
But how much does the clock do?
2.
Okay.
You think a 3? All right.
3.
Oh, Ellie's mulligan is 6.
Oh, this is
Not
good.
the time.
This experimental synthesizer are gonna get sacked to Breas. The piggy bank maybe. Actually, geez, Breas is insane in this hand.
Yeah, no. This is why Breas is in the Chicago Cube for this exact hand. All those cards get value when sacrifice.
Ragged Van.
Rest in peace,
Hasty
Ragged.
Monkey, right? I mean,
Man.
this one actually draws cards.
Yeah, this is the new Ragged. Okay, Ellie did keep 6. Let's see what we're putting. Gifts in the graveyard? Yep, not. Gifts ain't gonna do it.
So this does. I mean, I guess it already did. Quag Piece kills piggy bank pretty well.
It doesn't kill down the bugbear.
That the bugbear enters on deck.
If you control not a lot of lands, yeah.
The fast line. They all are.
Yeah. Okay. We could talk about that one.
We agree, Andy. I think
we could talk about that one.
I think we all agree that Gadget would be great in this matchup. It gives Will a different way to deal damage. That Ellie struggled with.
This is just
That Ashfire Harvester though was mad disrespectful.
You can play it if you play Breas now.
We
You
can
can
see
put it
it.
out next turn, sack it, and then haste it in. I mean, there's no black mana,
Are
but
we gonna see like a Snapcaster here?
yeah, I would.
Okay, the repeal not. It's only gonna do 1 damage right
It
now.
is what it is. Yeah, but it also you got to play it out later, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, you just play out this Brea's Apprentice.
absolutely.
There's a chance that sacking an artifact that gives something +2/+0 is going to be relevant right now.
That's a good draw.
Oh, having to play the Automora! No! No! How do you win?
Yeah, it's just disgusting.
The only thing that's bad about this draw is that Will doesn't have a black mana to play the only cold handle.
Just infinite action.
I will play my Clockwork Percussionist. Oh, we might see.
Yeah, I mean that's black mana right there.
Yeah, we might see a sack of the synthesizer. If they black the piggy bank, you play only called Anvil. I think that makes sense.
You just play Anvil and Harvester, right? Oh no, you can put that out, right. And then the Anvil. And now actually the +2 seems really. You just put it on something and
Yeah. I would not sack the synthesizer. Okay. Just Hanger Backwalker. In Yu-Gi-Oh terms, the Hanger Backwalker was a combo extender.
wow, this was just the. And there's no white man over there, so we're not seeing that for a long time.
Ellie's missing lands. The land stack missing lands, not an ideal situation. There's Crucible.
Even
No
if the
lands.
repeal and the Baleful Strix didn't draw lands, that is unfortunate. I hate to see it. It's just insane.
More
Like,
gas.
I think Will stacked their deck. And they took their cards and said, "This is a good order to win the game."
I'm not sure how Will is cheating, but we'll figure it
Yeah,
out.
I'm not accusing of cheating. I'm saying for showmanship, you know.
You're not accusing. I'm accusing.
wow.
Oh, just gleeful
This is the
demolition.
dumbest thing. Like, okay,
They're already dead. They're already
yeah,
dead.
that's just rude. So, is there anything they can like? I think at this point, I think this game is like over. I think there's like 100% over. I don't actually know what possible sequence.
Just play all the cards. Play everything.
Do 2 at the end of turn.
You can play Ashnod.
There it is.
You can play Ashnod, sack at the Brea, and then if you draw a swamp, you can unearth it.
Eli would have had such a good matchup. Not Eli. Miles would have had such a good matchup against Will.
And this is what we were thinking for the finals. And that's how it was going to play out.
This was definitely a matchup, like matchup based, whatever. But like some of these just feel real favored to other people. Though I don't know if any one deck felt way better. And these two seem like maybe some of the most powerful, but just yeah. Attack.
That's no reason.
Oh,
to.
you can put 2 on anything.
Exactly. Well, I think
Can't attack.
it's time to congratulate our first rotisserie draft, our first Chicago Cube League
Nice job.
champion.
We'll get some chats with these people, right?
Yeah, let's
stick around again.
Let's unmute in the Discord. Let's see who's all here.
Yeah, go for it.
Congratulations!
Hey, nice work. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That last game was.
Sorry, it's always tough to see those 2 draw spells and no lands. That's always tough to see in the last game. But wow, we said in the draft that Mardu deck looked scary, and it was scary. Yeah. All right. So I don't know anyone who's willing to stick around like last time. We'd love to chat with any and all of you about what's going on, what you felt.
Are we doing exchanges? We'll be doing exchanges for the decks on a different night. If you don't want to stick around, completely understand, but we will be exchanging cards, not tonight.
Yeah, you can just hold on to your cards. We'll get them back. Otherwise, obviously love to talk to, I guess everyone. Apparently Anthony has some cool games going on that we didn't get to see.
Anthony had the closest games to me.
Okay.
Ooh, I'm getting a lot of echo from you all.
Ooh.
That's probably on your end.
We're having a tough time. It's you're really loud for us. That's kind of I think what's causing that. I don't know if you can help with that or not. I mean, can we
Are you able to
turn
go
Blair down?
into?
Yeah.
Oh no, you disconnected.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they can set your user volume if they right click your name.
All right, can you try some new stuff? See if this helped it.
Better?
Seems like it would be for you.
It's better for me. I'm not sure if it's better for you.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
Perfect.
good.
It's perfect.
Yeah, good for me as well.
You're actually real loud too. A little bit. Now I know how to do this.
Do we want to pull up the table just so it's off of the?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Why don't you pull up Will's deck?
Yeah. I mean, where is the decks? Where are the decks? I can't see this.
Yep. Okay, well, we're gonna pull up your deck in a second, and then we're just gonna, I don't know, just talk to us about how the tournament went. I mean, you won. Clearly, it went pretty good.
I was gonna say I definitely had some games were more fortunate than others. Both game 3 with Ellie and game 3 with Anthony, I think definitely was not. It was the deck played well, but also both of them stumbled. In Anthony's in game 3 against Anthony, he drew like 12 lands or something. Even with all of his looting and rummaging. And then, of course, we saw that last game with Ellie just getting stuck on the early lands. But also, yeah, I was really happy with it. I did not expect to be as aggressive as I ended up being. I didn't, I guess with my experience with Chicago Cube, I didn't expect so many other decks to be going over the top of me. And so, I knew Ellie's deck. It's funny because I knew Ellie's deck and Anthony's deck were going to be going over the top of me as 2 examples because they were clearly bigger than my deck. But I really expected to have a bit more of a grindy game plan. And then it really just turned out that, oh no, landing...
Sorry.
landing a Nim Pakal or Zergo with an attacker on 2 was that was often, and then just starting to get in that way was usually all that was needed. Yeah, I was really happy with it. I was sad that I didn't get to play with Striding or Automaton more. I really wanted to see it go off, and I think
It was real good in that one game. It looked.
That one game it went kind of crazy, but which I was really happy with.
Yeah, we said it looked like a card worth a second pick in that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was but I really wanted to combined with specifically combined with Oni Cult Anvil and Legion Extruder, just creating a net positive on tokens every single turn. And it's I just didn't draw those cards together, but can't complain, obviously.
Right. No, of course not. But you like to see how you draw it up.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention was in the sideboard. There were some cards that definitely I wish I had mainboarded. Notably, Alibu I only ever drew once after sideboarding it in, but it almost just won the game on its own.
It is crazy powerful. Yeah.
But just being able to play it down, kill their creature, set up my next draws, it was really, really nice. And Lethal Demolition, I wavered on for a lot of time about whether I wanted to mainboard it out. It was the last cut. I ended up cutting it for Armix at the very end, and I kind of regret that. Not because I think it was objectively better, but specifically without knowing the matchups, but knowing the decks. Without knowing who I'd play, but knowing the decks. I was looking at it's only 1 or 2 people. Is it not just really good as a removal spell? And then, of course, also being able to use it as 3 tokens would also have been really nice. So I think that was a bit of a misplay. The Armix, I think, 1 time got in to kill something, which is pretty nice, but just being 3 mana and not having the value of Bray's Apprentice or Duretti or Animakal or Zergo just meant it probably would have been better replaced with the Demolition.
Yeah, when we were doing the deck reviews earlier today, which now that the games are finished, if y'all want to see what we said about your decks, you're more than welcome to go to the YouTube and check them out. The one comment we had about your deck was we wanted you to go a little bit bigger, and you seem to agree with that by going into Alibu, which is what we thought. Gleeful Demolition, we thought about Digside Engineer was an interesting play for you. The card that we were the most worried about, even though we did see it do some stuff, was Goblin Engineer. We didn't think that this was the best Goblin Engineer deck we've ever seen, but I mean, even then, it played with Chainsaw really effectively.
Where'd it go? Sorry.
Oh, you removed it.
Yeah, so it's over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. With it, actually, I think it's the best example of something I should have more so switched with Gleeful Demolition, just because I was taking it out in most games, because with the exception of Ellie's deck, everyone else just had so much removal for it that it was I didn't have in other ways to get artifacts back, so it could have. It felt like it could have just been a 2-mana 1/2 that put a card in my graveyard, and if that's not Ashnod's Harvester, putting a card in my graveyard that's not a land isn't so good.
Sure.
Yeah, that one game I was really happy with their performed, and I'm glad I kept it in for that. But I don't disagree that maybe not exactly what the rest of the deck was doing. There's a couple of neat combos with it, with Chainsaw or Brea's Apprentice if like I could have cycled the Brea's Apprentice as well, but maybe not exactly what is intended for this deck. The thing I was thinking was another thing I was thinking was a card I regretted not taking early. That then I remember was Blood Artist, and I feel like Blood Artist also would have been a better 2-drop of like a value to get a bit extra reach that I was kind of trying to get um, with the Goblin Engineer of being able to go into the long game, and the Blood Artist would just win those games instead. Obviously, I didn't pick it up, but that was the other one that came to mind.
I mean, that Marionette Apprentice did a pretty good impersonation when you needed a blood artist.
It sure did. I was quite happy with it. Yeah. But yeah, the last thing I wanted to shout out is Zergo was amazing. Especially being able to
Damn right
the
it
tokens
was.
at the end of combat to draw the extra card. I think that was on the stream.
That was that was awesome.
I'm like definitely can feel a bit clunky, just like 3-mana 3/3 that I kind of sometimes if I don't have anything needs to wait a turn to do something. But most of the time, like almost every other time, it was just absolutely amazing. Really happy. I don't think I ever played with Jan Jansen, but I would always wanted to, but I understand why it switched out.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah, thanks for sharing, and again, congratulations. Really, it was just fantastic showing all whatever 9 weeks or whatever you're gonna call it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Would anyone else like to talk about their drafts before we call it a night? I know it's kind of late.
Oh, well, gosh, I guess if someone has to.
Yeah, we're getting it. Hey, we didn't get to see any of your matches, so let's hear about it.
Yeah, no, they were sick. So I'll start with Will. Game 1 against Will, my deck did the thing. I'm trying to think of like what I put in against him. I put in the Nexus of Becoming, and then with Nexus put in a Triplicate Titan, which was the only time I had a Triplicate Titan in play the entire tournament. So that was a lot of fun. And then also just kind of started doing the whole thing with welders and was able to kind of go over the top of them there. Game 2, I got absolutely crushed by an Aliabu. And what ended up happening is Will on turn 3 put a Nymph Call into play, and then he attacked with a Thopter, so it became a 2/3, and I had a Unholy Heat in my hand. But what I ended up having to do is I had to discard an artifact creature with a Underworld Cookbook, untap, tap again, discard a Planeswalker with the Underworld Cookbook to get Delirium so that I could actually kill the 2/3 Animphicall. So it was like a whole thing, but I had to kill that card. And then in that game too, it was super sweet. I had Frostcliff Siege in play, which was awesome, by the way. That card was so sick. I had Frostcliff Siege in play, drew into a Welder, activated Welder, put a Cityscape Leveler into play with haste, and attacked with it, blowing up his Aliabu in that game. Unfortunately, he did draw like all the 3 best cards in his deck, being the Aliabu, the Animphicall, and then the Zergo. So it was just like really tough to beat that deck when it was synergizing that way. But yeah, that game 2 was super sweet, even though I lost. Game 3 was like kind of whatever. And then against Vivian, who I was like the most concerned about in this tournament, it was really more of a battle of attrition than I thought it was going to be. We kind of like stabilized pretty quickly, and then it really became way more about like card advantage, who can find the removal, who can put more threats in play, who can put evasive threats in play, and like how can we remove them. So it just went like back and forth. Was super fun. I flipped a Mere Battlesphere off an Urza, like our Urza spin.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Which was cool. And then game 3 against Miles, or match 3 against Miles, that one was rough for sure, because I couldn't really like set up a Welder, because he would just like reanimate my thing before I could, because he could just like cast a spell on his main phase. versus like I have to go through a lot of extra steps. And quite honestly, against Miles is where I really started to feel the like effect of just not having enough cheap artifacts. I do think that like against Vivian and against Miles too, like I went for the I'm gonna board in my counter spells and my like kind of early interaction to keep the game at bay. But like what that actually ended up meaning is that my deck was less consistent in doing the thing, which just means a lot of times like I would remove their permanents and then stall out and then it ran over in the end. So yeah, that was like the experience honestly. But they were all super fun games and like my deck was super cool and I had a really good time playing it.
Great. Yeah,
That's awesome. If I may, I do want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Pistotha Forge Master? Really? You had well, the reason why I say that is because the cheapest you have 4 artifacts that are cheaper than CMC4, and it's Fabricator, Ichor Wellspring, Mutt, and Cookbook. It's not a lot for Kadotha Forge Master.
Yeah. So when I was doing like play testing, one thing I noticed is like I would just have a Thopter Fabricator in play, and then I would get 1 token, and then I would play a Kadoltha Forge Master, and then activate it, and then it would be like, okay, sack Thopter and Kadoltha Forge Master to go get Triplicate Titan, right? And it was also just really good with Frostcliff Siege, because then it's like 5 mana, tap, and like you just get a hasty your Battlesphere City State Leveler or Triplicate Titan. So I think if I had a more critical mass of these like cheaper artifacts, it would be a lot better. But it actually still felt pretty nice, all things considered.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
You have those artifacts in the sideboard.
Yeah, so I did board in almost all of those artifacts every time.
Yeah,
I boarded
okay,
in Search Engine, I boarded in Aether Spellbomb, I boarded in Vantress Gargoyle. And to be honest, I kind of just procrastinated on deck building, so I just needed to turn something in. But I think if I had taken a little more time and thought about it a little bit more, I probably would have play tested enough times to see the issue that I was going to stall out a bunch and then probably make some main board changes. But otherwise, like, yeah, I boarded those in literally every game.
That makes sense.
Yep.
I just
Awesome.
have one last comment. Not for you. Is Ellie still here? I just
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm just remembering your first match against Tom, right?
No, Andrew.
No, against Tom, right? Tom. You got game 1. I think Tom got game 2 real fast, and then game 3, Tom was about to get it real fast, and we're like, all right, as long as what it was like, you remove a creature, play a thing, and then find a Scavenging Ooze. I think we can turn this game around, and it just went boop boop boop, Scavenging Ooze, turn it around, win the game, and it was just like I felt like you were seconds from death. And it was just really, that was really fun match to watch at least. Definitely, that was just really cool. I don't know, I just remember that and thought it was just in particular your match with Tom was a lot of fun to watch.
I do have one question on how a game went though. In round 2, you went against Andrew, and we came in for a little bit in between games, and you had to Taval with a bunch of tokens, and Andrew had like a Yawgmoth and like some other stuff. And we finished the other game that we were doing originally. We came back, and the same exact game was still going somehow. Yeah. What happened to keep Andrew alive in that game?
So I have it involved. I have all of these creatures. Mm-hmm. He cast a Harvester of Misery.
Yeah, it had to be.
Stacking all these creatures to kill my Titania elementals and to kill all of my tutus and the Taval by discarding the Harvester first and then reanimating it.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
And then it becomes a game of, can I kill him before I mill out?
It was really exciting. We were like, oh my gosh, the math here, I almost don't even, I'm glad I'm not playing.
Yeah, that game was kind of insane. It's like, I think it was that game where I was going to lose like turn 6 or 7, and then I top decked Wrath of God.
Oh wow!
And I wiped his board, and then from there it basically was I'm on the front foot, And then eventually we get to the point where then he gets the harvester of misery, and it's can he survive long enough? And I was lucky enough to find the damage needed, but like for example, I think Renin 6 was the second to last card in my deck. If Renin 6 had been the last card in my deck, I think I would have lost because I would not have had enough turns to return Otawara to bounce his things to get damage in multiple turns in a row.
Yeah.
I think I hear what you're saying, but I think what we remembered is you actually, if it was the other way around, you could attack with Uro, even though you'd be at 0. It was lethal if that was the
If I
order.
had done the math, I probably could have attacked with
Yeah.
Uro. I would have won at 0 cards in library.
Yes.
That was again really really crazy to watch.
Which I think used to be a Chicago Cube achievement, actually, when he was 0 cards left.
It was that what we used to
Star
have achievements.
creation,
He had one card left in his back. So
That was really spectacular because we watched it. We're like, oh, this is over. We're gonna watch another match. We watched the match finish, came back, same game is going. We're like, oh my goodness, this is crazy.
And the last question I have, I think, Ellie. So you were pack one, pick one. You were the pole position, driving where the cube went throughout the draft. Now that you drafted this 5-color deck after pack one, pick one Uro, how do you feel like this deck went? Was there anything that surprised you about this deck that you would change differently? Like, you got Baleful Strix real late and it found its way in the main deck, So is there anything that you would have done differently?
I think I was thinking of picking less painful lands more highly.
That was the big thing.
Yep.
And getting a wrath that's in my main colors. So the
Yep.
Toxic Daily was probably that would be like pick 3 or 4.
Yeah, we talked about. I think Will would have had a real hard time against Miles.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think Will's matchup was the one I was most concerned about. Is I was like, other aggro decks, I'm also concerned about them, but I think I can stabilize long enough to then Wrath. But Will's has that like the extra reach through things like Oni Cold Anvil and Marionette Apprentice that like if I don't go Wrath into Scavenging Ooze, I might be at low enough life total that he can just ping me out at that point. And like the same thing happened the same thing almost happened against Tom, where if I hadn't had the Scavenging Ooze after the Wrath, then I probably would have lost in a few turns to a
That's
top
what
deck.
it was literally Wrath.
to a top
Yeah,
deck
exactly.
Wrath.
And we called that one, and it came out, and it was very exciting.
But yeah, I don't think there's much I would have done differently. I think maybe I wouldn't have done 5 colors. I might have decided to not go for the red. Like I really like Renin 6 in this deck, but I think that this deck would have been fine as just 4-color no red. And the only thing I think I would have been missing out on then is the Otawara looping, which I can still do with things like Light from the Loam and what was the other one? Cloak.
Oh, sure. Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Again. So yeah, that was basically every game we watched. Yours was really interesting. There were so many lines to talk about, so many interesting things, and a lot of those games ended up being interesting.
Don't get me started on the gifts piles that I was trying to think about.
Oh, one of the reasons it was exciting. Yeah.
We're not going to judge anyone for a gifts pile. Who
Any
knows?
games with Snapcaster also just makes things like a headache. You know?
Yeah.
So I did like the Uro and Savine's Reclamation is kind of like they're this like it doesn't matter. That was kind of a neat thing. Though that never ended up being relevant. It was amazing how frequently Uro was in your graveyard and not actually one of the relevant cards.
Yeah. I cybered in Snapcaster, in fact, against both of my aggro opponents because I was like, if I can get to 6 mana, I can, or 7 mana with Exploration, which is not that hard if I have an Exploration in play. I can gifts for Wrath and Snapcaster and Savine's Wreck, and I can just Wrath. And that almost came up in one of the games, but I ended up doing a different gifts pile instead. So. But yeah, this was really fun. It was really great. Again, thank you guys for running this, for running the whole Chicago Cube Rotisserie, the Cube League.
Yeah, and thanks everyone for playing. It doesn't work without you. And even when we all disappeared for a couple of weeks, you guys kept it going. So, everyone kept it going, and we're just, we're thankful for that as well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna bring back up Discord really quick, just so we. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. I'm gonna mute all y'all. Love y'all, but we're gonna do our little closing.
But yeah.
Okay, well, do you want to jump in just for the last minute, or are you good?
You're good. Do your thing.
Sweet.
So tell them what we're doing, Sam. In the chat because we muted half that conversation.
Yeah.
So thank you.
So last thoughts on the Chicago Cube Rotisserie.
Um,
Mardu wins. Is that the big bad is bad?
I mean that is the problem, right? Like that was the CubeCon issue.
Yeah.
But I think this time I don't want to put a lot of stake in the decks that won in the Rotisserie draft.
Yes.
These did look different than a draft deck. They just look some of them dramatically different. I also would like to see if any of these decks could even be recreated if like we had the same 8 people. I think a lot of people learned some of these cards weren't supposed to be down there and some of these cards belonged up here. I think we'd see very different drafts. So, which goes into like my number one takeaway is that I want to do it again. Can't wait to again. I want to play. I want to try my hand at it.
Yes. I feel like for the next one, maybe the designers might get a little frisky in the next one.
Yeah, we could do. I think we can do some, asynchronous drafting.
Yeah, I
some
think-
round robin, so 7 matches each. Really, just get a bunch of content out of it. I don't know, something like that. But I want to do it again. I'm excited to play.
Yes.
Excited to cast. I don't care. This has been a blast.
Well, on that note, yes. If you join our Discord and you liked what you saw, you can, like I said, join the Discord. We'll be doing more online drafts. We typically try to do online drafts every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
We do in-person drafts if you're local to Chicago or just visiting Chicago every Tuesday.
Shout out to Good Games.
Shout out to Good Games.
Graciously let us play there every Tuesday. So
All of the information for when and how we schedule will be in these. Be in this Discord. You can follow us up on our YouTube. Follow us on our Blue Sky, All Chicago Cube. We're the Chicago Cube to find us. Thank you, Andy, for helping us throughout this event today and being a good sideline reporter for us. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, until the next time.
all right, yeah. This is the Chicago Cube. Hey, another band photo, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Have a good one, y'all.